Okay. I'm waiting for. Okay. Hopefully I'm live, y'all. This is the first time I've done this way. But let's get started with the topic of today, which is, I don't forgot what I titled it. But we're going to get into some juicy details. I have a guest with us. So if he wants to go ahead and come on, he can.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here. How are you doing,
I forgot what I had titled this live stream.
Live with Coach Eli?
Like I say, it's been one of those days.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. You know, Live with Coach Eli. We're going to be discussing our past relationships and
yeah,
talking about dating in the modern world, right?
True. How we feel about it today and how this pandemic has really affected it too.
Oh yeah. 2020 has been insane, Mutt. And by the way, before you continue, I just want to thank you so much for having me on your show. I greatly appreciate it, and hopefully
you've had me on yours several times. So
and you're always welcome. You've been a moderator on my channel for a while. I know we've been mods on each other's channels, but this is my first time on one of your panels, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And hopefully you
my
know,
voice holds out.
Oh yeah. Well, things come up, and I'll share a bit about, what's been going on with me that I haven't shared on my channel. But yeah, so thank you very much for having me, and I hope that I can bring some value to your audience, and we can give them a good show here today.
If I have anybody show, I know some of my mods may pop in. I know Super Steph is probably, she changed her name, but I know she's probably lurking, but she's getting, she'll be graduating in a few months. So,
okay.
She's probably working on her schooling.
Yeah, no, people are busy. It's also we're almost at Christmas. I mean,
tomorrow's Christmas Eve, And I wish I had smell-o-vision for YouTube, because y'all would love the way my house is smelling like now. Mom is baking up a storm.
Smell-o-vision. Oh, I forgot about smell-o-vision. That would be cool if they did something like that. But then we'd all have to buy this device, and they probably, they probably would sell it for like what, like $40 or $50.
Okay, the heater just went over. Mom accidentally knocked the heater over. Sorry for the loud noise.
That is okay. I just got the notification, by the way.
I knocked it over last night.
Oh, okay. All right.
Small house.
That's okay. It's cozy though, right?
Oh yeah. Yes, it's very. Oh, Mom came to say hi.
Hi, Merry Christmas.
Hello. Merry Christmas to you too.
And I want you to have a Happy New Year and a safe one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's on the West Coast.
I'm a safe guy.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a safe guy. I'm not that crazy.
I mean, safe from all this mess.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
he's staying away from it just like we are.
All the COVID stuff.
I'm going no further than the grocery store, the banks when I need to, or my doctor's office. Other than that, I'm here.
Amen.
I don't go nowhere.
But yeah,
Amen.
So
I got the turkey and I deboned the back off of it, and the legs are cooking with it. But I've got the breast and the.
What was I getting ready to say? Oh wow, I had a brain fart. I have so much on my mind that I want to say right now.
How do you want to do this?
Jumbling together.
You're the boss here. How do you want to do this? How do you want to do this? I know you have a lot to talk about, and I can share some of my past examples, and I can share with you also, what's been going on with me lately.
Where do I start with examples? How far back should I even go?
You can go as far back as you want. It's your show. You own this.
Keep your mouth shut over here, woman.
I always put in my 2 cents.
We don't want your 2 cents today.
Hey, I'm self-sufficient and strong.
Says my show.
Yeah.
I'm a strong, independent woman. This is the modern world. Don't mess with
Well,
me.
let's see. I guess I could go as far back. Let's see. My niece is 16, so that would have been back 2002. 2005-ish. When I got married to my now deceased ex-husband.
Oh, wow.
But I will say we met on MySpace. This was MySpace days.
MySpace days.
If that really predates back.
Oh,
because
yeah.
It was back when MySpace was the place to be. MySpace was like the Facebook of today.
Well, they should have been the Facebook, but they screwed up. They didn't change things up in time. And then Zuckerberg came in and did, you know what? And here we are.
And so
15, 20, almost 20 years later, right, Mutt?
Yeah. We got talking on there. We got met. We were married 3 months after we were together.
Wait. Hold on. Do you mind if I do a little commentary along the way as we do this? Because this is interesting. So
yes,
you met on MySpace. You hooked up from MySpace, which is where everyone was hooking up from.
Like 3 days after we started talking on MySpace.
I love that word hook up. I'm not a ghetto talker, but
the thing was we didn't live that far from each other. He only lived 25 minutes from me. But this story gets better. It really gets better.
But you hooked up on MySpace, and 3 months later you got married.
Well, no, 3 days later we were hanging out together, and then 3 months later we were married.
Well, I can understand the 3 days, Mutt. I mean, I want to meet someone as soon as possible, and see if the chemistry is there all around.
The day that we got married at the courthouse was exactly 3 months that we had been together. Okay. But it gets better. It gets better before that, though. So we met, and I met his dad. I'm still good friends with his dad, his sister, and his brother. My ex brother-in-law, my ex sister-in-law, my ex father-in-law. We're all, I'm cool with them. But his mother, that's a different story. Come to find out, his mom and my mom went to school together.
Oh, wow.
And believe me, she was how can I put this politically correct? Oh, I'll just do it like I tell the trolls. She was a hoe when she was at school. So the apple, let's just say he just turned out to be the male version of his mother.
Oh, wow.
So we were together. We got married February of the year. Let's see. Yeah, it had to be my niece is 16, so it had to be 2000, I think 2005-ish, I want to say. We were married that February. My niece was born that July. That September, we were split, divorced by January. But the day we got married, he goes missing from the reception.
Oh, wow.
I knew he had kids by 2 other women, and me and his daughter's mom were good friends. We were fine. JR's there, Mom. You can hear Mom. And so his sister and me and another friend got in the car and went and found where he was. His sister knew where he probably went. He went to go meet up with his ex, the mother of his sons, the day we got married.
Wow.
Okay, I let that go because he said he was giving her child support, which, okay, I just let it go. I just brushed it off. But things started going. He was working for a furniture company with his dad and his brother. Well, that business is gone out of business now, and it's sad because it was a good place. So he decides to quit there and go working for a seafood company here in our town since he moved into my house where I was living at the time. Well, I called to see because he was supposed to be home back at a certain time from a delivery. And I called and they said, well, you just picked him up. I'm like, no, I didn't. He only had went and left with her. you know, the mother of his son. And then it was like, what, 5 or 6 days later, he was saying, well, I think we should get a divorce. Hey, Pinocchio, welcome in. I see you. How are you? And then we were divorced. Like I say, we were divorced by that January. That was a good birthday present, actually. But in my defense, I kind of sped up the process. But me and his ex-best friend cooked up a scheme to make him speed up the divorce, and I made him pay for everything. So, but then there was the one. This was just what, 4 years ago. When I met him, I knew he was in some trouble already, and he went to jail, but I stood by him the whole time. Then he happens to call me or write me a letter one day saying that when he got out, he wanted to move his ex-girlfriend and me back into his house together and wanted to be with both of us. So I told him he had to pick one. Oh Lord, are the trolls already starting already?
Yeah, just ignore them. We got them. Just don't even acknowledge them. Forget about them. Let's just do our show. Don't give them any attention.
But Pinocchio says he needs a cradle. I know who Brandon the Pinocchio is.
Yeah. No, he's cool, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Hi, Brandon. By the way, hello. You haven't seen Coach Eli in a while. I've been around, bro. I've been around. But go ahead, Mutt. Interesting story.
I didn't see Merry Christmas, Pinocchio. I was looking up here. I didn't see that you had said that. But yeah, and so I stood by him while he was in jail. I was the only one besides his ex-roommate who was putting money on his books for him and take care of his finances. Me and her were the only ones that stood by him. And then he goes and tells me he wants to move me and an ex. Well, he's since married that woman. And I sensed distance myself from a good friend of mine because she's married to the guy that was his best man. So I don't want nothing to do with them. And this ex happens to, when he rides by to go see his friend, he'll beat the horn at my house. Like, I still care about him. But yeah, he can. He was one of the many village idiots. Anyway, but no, the one that I really want to talk about is this last one.
Oh yeah, Mutt. Before you get into that, I remember when you were first going through something, and I figured there was trouble in paradise. And for me, I don't like to say anything.
The first year was it was just the last 6 months. Well, no, actually last 8.5 months that went to hell in a handbasket. And like I say, if Steph was here, Steph could really tell you some stuff that went down.
Okay.
I know Will said he wouldn't be home till after 4:30, so Will may pop in later. And I know Will has some interesting tidbits he might want to put into this story.
Mutt, we can't say too much, but Will actually is working a pretty good job. He cannot mention what it is.
I know.
And
I keep up with bro for the past couple of days. I've been keeping up with him behind the scenes.
Furious Reactor Gaming and Mutt, I had him. I think
proud
you were on
of him.
that stream. I'm so proud of him too. We'll talk about him in a little bit too, because he is a success story.
Yes.
I'm not trying to take credit as a coach for it. I'm just saying that, if we help people understand the modern world, Mutt, and understand the principles of being a man in the modern world and how important they are and how important your purpose is. If we can, how do we say this? Red pill all these men, which is a term that used to be used in the MGTOW community. We can help a lot of people.
That's exactly how I would have put it. I would put it, they need to have, some of them need lobotomies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be nice right now.
Furious Reactor Gaming, and that was a great interview. Did you enjoy that interview with him on my channel?
Yeah.
What'd you think about that before we continue on with your story? Because I thought it's night and day.
I came in the middle of it, so I still have to go back and watch the whole first half of the show.
No worries.
But yeah, I'm very proud of him. And if it wasn't for this last ex of mine, I would have been there for him during what was going on. But wow. I let that guy get into my head and derailed me from things. Because it wasn't you can ask Will, that's not me. I was there. I was in every live stream with him and Psycho Ghost Tracker and people like that. I never missed somebody's live stream. I was going live 3-4 times a day at the most. But when I got with this last ex, things were fine the first 6 months with my YouTube. He didn't mind me doing my live streams. He didn't mind me, doing my content videos. I was filming some of them at his house.
Oh.
Then
so where was the change at?
Well, about, let's see, we met September 6th. I'd say the change happened March of last year.
Okay.
Yeah, about March of last year. That's where you seen I was going live every day. And then all of a sudden, sporadic lives. And then probably September of last year, I really stopped doing live streams at all. I still was doing content videos, but wasn't doing live streams. Like I say, everything was fine the first 9-10 months of the relationship. Then it got to a point where if somebody asked, was I his girlfriend, he would tell them, no, I'm just his friend. We haven't put a label on it. So I just let that go, and then it got about December of last year. It got to the point where if I went to his house, he wouldn't come get me. Oh, don't mind my house phone. I'm not going to try to. I can't find it. I don't know where it's at right now. But it's a cordless. And the cat knocked it down. And we can't find it.
You still have a real phone?
We have to have Verizon.
Oh, landline.
Internet. It's just the way they hook it up. Well, it got to the point that he wouldn't come get me till he knew it would be after dark by the time we got to his house. And he didn't want his neighbors seeing me coming into his house.
What, was he ashamed?
I don't know. This was just this was like December of last year into this year. Well,
okay.
Let's see. The last I seen him before he decided to, I'll get into that whole spiel in a little bit. I don't know. I think I could pull it up on my Facebook. I have the whole conversation. Okay. I'm not sure who you are. Oh, Lord. Please take care of that Black Lives Matter. That is my major troll. Yeah, just take that out for me, please. I'm not dealing with his auto-tune behind. You have yours. I have him. Anyway. But, so it got to the point, and if he had a friend come over, he'd tell me to stay in the back room and shut the door until the person left. The only neighbor was one neighbor knew that I was there, and that was the one. She had a little autistic boy, and she would come over to wash clothes. And me and her were really, really close. We got to be really good friends. She was really sweet, and I loved her little boy to death. He was such a cutie. And then it got to the point where I was only seeing him maybe once or twice a month, or then it got to the point where he'd hardly call, hardly text. Let's see. Can I pull that up on Facebook? Yeah, I can pull that up on Facebook because
what do you
I
think?
sent that to a friend of mine.
What do you think?
I don't know, because I know his parents didn't like me, for one.
Okay.
So I'm thinking his parents had something to do with this whole situation. But then again, he's also like Mom said, a couple bricks shy of a Happy Meal.
Well, some guys are like
he
that.
He also blamed that he wasn't getting the hours at work, and I know he was getting hours at work. But it's one of those things. Did I send that to Steph? I think I sent
But I would be happy to share my feedback throughout your stories if you'd like. I'll be real honest, because I know these situations.
Oh, go for it.
I know these situations, and a lot of times,
go for it.
Guys and gals nowadays are full of it. And, when they start something new, it's new and exciting. And then maybe it starts to fizzle out for whatever reason on their end. And they just don't want to hurt you, or they don't have the balls to just say, hey, it's not working for me anymore. So, I think we should split up. Instead of doing that, they start seeing you less. They start avoiding you. They start ignoring you. And then they try to get you to figure it out on your own.
Better because
But you want to know something, Mutt? You want to know what the funny thing is? Can I say this? This will make you happy. If a man doesn't want to be with a woman and he is afraid to express that to her and he avoids her, that is I'm going to be even though you're not monetizing, I'm going to be polite here. That is
big red flag. That's when the big red flags started popping up.
That's a feminized man type of move. That's a man that's behaving more feminine than that's not a masculine.
Oh yeah, believe me. I started seeing some sides. Some sides about him that he started showing his feminine side. Where did I send this?
And let me ask you a question, Mutt. What about let's talk about.
I can't find the conversation right now.
No worries, but let's talk about the feminine side of men. Now, it is okay for a man to have a feminine side, but how he shows up and how often he shows up, in that side is going to determine whether he's a real strong man or more of a feminized beta type of male. So how did it make you feel when he started exuding more feminine energy than masculine energy? Like, what attracts you to a man? And when he was
I wanted to throat punch him.
Why? Tell me why.
It was just things he was saying and how he was acting. It just ticked me off. That's the thing. I mean, when he started acting like that, it was like he was acting more childish, like a little girl, like a little 10-year-old girl sometimes. And
wow.
To me. Yeah, even when he was here, he'd act weird. There is one live stream I have that he was on, okay? And Super Stuff, I did it to mess with Super Stuff, because she thought he was in the chat. She didn't think he was here, He sat there like I had a ventriloquist doll sitting there. Wouldn't say a word, wouldn't say a thing. It barely would say hi, and it just was like, that's when things really started. I started seeing things that I weren't liking, and I don't, and I've even talked about this with the guy I'm talking with now, and I was like, because we've talked, I mean, my God, the guy I talk with now, we FaceTime 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day for hours upon hours, but we were talking, like I said, I don't know why I stayed. I seen, like, I should have dreaded when I seen the red flags. But I guess I was hoping things would change. You know? And I don't care if he sees or hears what I'm saying. But, you know, because I know he told me, because I met right before after the whole thing went down, him saying, well, how do you have it? He's not in a good place. So if he can't take care of himself financially, how can he take care of a relationship? Like, I mean, I live with my mom, but I'm self-sufficient. I can do what I want. You know, I weren't with him for his money, for one. I don't need no man's money. You know, I'm the type of person, if I can't afford it, I don't need it.
Mutt, can I jump in there real quick? Because you're bringing up so many great points. And we should stop and dissect these.
He's just let's just say I could do 20 or more story times alone just on that one X.
I bet. But
he beats out all my other X's.
Yeah, no, I bet. But let's dissect this. Let's dissect this along the way here and really try to figure out, you know, what happened. So this guy basically stopped seeing you as often, and he started acting more feminine, and it really started to give you the sign that things were heading the opposite way. Do you notice that when that's happening in your relationships? I know you're in your 40s me, but do you kind of
I have that little radar detector goes off.
Okay. So you're pretty much prepared, you know, at this point in your life to realize when things just don't feel right, when something is a bit off, because you're a lady, and ladies are naturally intuitive. And I'm not trying to say I'm all that, but I'm one of the few guys out there that's very intuitive. So I understand, and I can pick up on these things. When you see the pattern changing of how often someone contacts you daily, how often they see you, if you're used to seeing them a couple times a week, then it goes down to a couple times a month, then once a month, then, you know, once every month and a half. When you see it going down less and less, that's the time where, you know, if I'm in your shoes, I would call the person out. I'd say, hey, look, I'm noticing a change of pattern here.
Oh, I'm the one that had to. I pretty much had to get kind of ignorant with him to even get him to talk to me, to know what the hell was going on, because it was like for almost a month radio freaking silence. So I didn't know what the hell was up. I didn't know if he was okay or not.
A month radio silence? Wait a minute. This guy was ignoring you for a month while you two were dating and in a relationship?
It was the month before let's see. Matter of fact, the day that he broke it off would have been my dad's birthday of this year.
Okay. So for a month before he broke it off with you, he was ignoring you, radio silent. Did you have a fight, or did he just stop talking with you all of a sudden?
It just got to the point he said he was working all the time.
That's a bunch of, you know what? That's a bunch of BS.
But yeah, he said he wasn't getting enough hours.
No. You know what he was probably doing?
I could have really found out about his work schedule if I wanted, because a friend of mine works where he works. So I could have found out anything I really wanted, but, you know, I wasn't prying. I was trapped. I was dropping little things to see if he would trip himself up.
You already knew it, though, and probably during this time, I wouldn't be surprised if he was hooking up with some other woman or women, plural.
I don't want to. There's a little thing that I'm not 100% sure if that was the issue, but I'm good friends with one of his exes anyway. And she told me that when she was with him, he always had this guy that used to stay there as a roommate. And he wanted them all three to share a bed.
Wait. Are you telling me this guy's bisexual?
That's what I'm starting to think. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
So you're saying that he likes to bat from both sides of the plate, is what you're saying. He's a switch hitter.
I'm wondering because of what she said. So that's why she left him.
Nothing wrong with that. Listen, let me make it very clear, Mutt.
I know.
Listen. If people, I have gay friends, and I love everybody.
I have
right?
gay family members, so
right.
I have a very good friend that he'll tell you he's gayer than a $2 bill. He'll come out and tell you.
Right. The point I'm trying to make is that if you're dating someone, and they like it both ways, and they haven't come out yet, but they're starting to come out while they're dating you, that's kind of weird. It's like then you kind of feel like, what did I do wrong? Did I push him to the other side? Like, what were you thinking, Mutt?
And then there's the thing that, I know he was in the Coast Guard, but he would never tell me why he got discharged.
So you asked him, and he didn't tell you why. That would have been a red flag for him. He just said he didn't want to talk about it. He said it was a bad situation. So I just let it go. I didn't know if it might have been because I know some people that have gotten discharged because of, they got hurt or whatever, and they don't want to talk about the accident and all that. I understand that. Sure, but wasn't that a red flag for you, though? Wasn't that a red flag for you, Mutt? Because if a man holds something back, and they're afraid to talk about something like that, and say, I don't want to talk about it, that to me is telling me that they're just a weak man that is going to bring a lot of issues if I date him. It's going to bring a lot of issues into the relationship. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And see, all the red flags really didn't start popping up till December of last year. And the last time I actually saw him in person was my birthday of this year. Then pandemic hit, and I weren't going nowhere near where he lived because most of the people that live in the trailer park he lives in, where they work at the chicken processing plant they worked at, that was a hot spot for COVID, believe me. And I weren't going nowhere, having respiratory issues anyway. But we were still talking. That was the thing, and then all of a sudden, I'd say, maybe around September, end of September, it started, get dwindling. He wasn't calling me every day. When he would come into town to pick up a tow, he used to call me to figure out where the address was. That stopped. Matter of fact, yesterday, I'm on FaceTime. I walked out to the my mailbox. He rides by. They had him in the little small truck. Normally, he would, and I know he stared at me, but never like, hi, how are you? Are you dealing okay? Like I'm glad he didn't stop because I probably would have throat punched him. But
okay,
I've been wanting to throat punch somebody since another ex, but I don't have enough time in the day to tell that whole story. Believe me,
that would be a 6-part series. I also think that you're a little bit more mature than that, right, Mutt?
Well, yeah. If you piss me off enough, my Irish and Scottish temper's coming out. So, but I can't find the whole conversation. I know I still got it somewhere because I sent it to a couple people that are a couple of my mods. I had screenshotted it. But yeah, it was pretty much he just. It was like, he says, I hope you understand, blah, 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 blah. He says, I didn't want to hurt. He says, I didn't message you right away because I didn't want to hurt you. I think what hurt the most is the way he went about it. It's not the whole breakup. I could deal with that. That was no big deal. He did it all via text. Didn't call me, didn't show up, talk to me in person. He did it all in text.
Okay, so let's stop right there a second. Let's stop right there. Let's talk about that. So let me ask you this. So he wasn't man enough to confront you in person. Nope. and break up with you. So he did it via text, which is something that,
very impersonal.
Women will do this more so nowadays. I can understand more so women doing it because ladies are emotional beings, and that's how they operate.
I've only
sometimes.
done it with one ex.
Well,
and that was because I did not want to face him.
Well, and sometimes you're going to feel
because
that way.
Went down.
I get that, but here's the thing: if you're dating somebody, Mutt, and you've been together with them for, let's say, a year or so, I feel.
Oh, we had only been together about 2 months. Me and that one I broke up with in a text.
Yeah. Here are my thoughts on this real quick. It depends on the length of the relationship, in my opinion. If you're dating somebody for a month or two, it doesn't really matter. But if you're dating someone for 6 months or a year or more, which is what I'm trying to say.
Almost a year and a half.
Yeah, if you're dating someone a year and a half, I feel closure is deserved. And I feel if you're going to invest that much time into somebody and you're going to break up with them, you should at least have one quick phone conversation or get together for a few minutes. But nowadays, because of the modern world, it's all digital. People will ghost you. People will just, ignore you, or they'll send you a quick text and then they'll block you so you can't even respond to them. And it's just it's pretty pathetic the way that we're treating people nowadays. And that's why I teach people what I teach people is to be more proactive and to look for negative signs before you get involved with someone. Because I'll be honest with you, from hearing your story, Mutt, there were a lot of red flags that I picked up on when you were first starting to get to know this guy with his behavior. Are you beginning to notice more of that?
I can say the first whole year, we would go hiking, we would go, here, go there, and then it got to a point where it was like, oh my God, he would come here and leave here and go to work, and I was like, what? Where he lived, he was only 10 minutes from his work. I'm like 45 minutes from where he worked. And then that stopped, and but it was in the last, I'd say 6 to 8 months that things went, that's when I started seeing the red flags.
Well, let me ask you something, Mutt. Let me ask you this. If it's not too personal, I know I talk about a lot of things on my channel, but I don't know how much you want to talk about it. But let me ask you this. How important, if it's not too personal, how important is consistent intimacy to you in a relationship?
Let's not even go there with that subject on that X.
Well, there's a reason why I asked, because go ahead.
It's on the top 10 list. It probably falls about top 3.
Okay, excellent. So let's go with that. Here's the thing. There are some guys that will get with a woman just for intimacy. There are some guys that, will spend a little time when they can to keep the intimacy going, and then the intimacy starts to die down as well. Did you notice a shift?
Oh, when we first got together, that was fine. All that there was no problem in that department.
That's how it typically is. But like a year later, did you start noticing a shift of decline?
A year later.
Was there a decline in romance as the relationship progressed?
Yeah, probably about November of last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what started happening?
The guy I'm with now, me and him have actually talked about that whole situation, Okay. But which Matter of fact, he's deer hunting right now, so he won't be on the live stream, or he'd have been here. But yeah, it was probably November of last year. Yeah, it was lucky. Lucky if I even seen him at all.
Mutt, do you know a guy named Leonard Shea Music?
No, it's probably Stefan.
Okay, he's out. Go ahead.
Anyway, that auto-tune behind thinks he's going to get to me, but he knows he can't. But yeah, so it's probably last 4 or 5 months that declined, big time declined. There also was a point where I kind of had to beg for certain things in that department.
So, okay, stop right there. Stop right there. So, in essence, what you're saying, and I think beg is a pretty strong word. When you're in a relationship, the intimacy should be automatic. It should be natural, right?
There is a perfect person that can tell you. Daimo and Nini can tell you what I went through with him as well. They were there through the whole process of what went down. They'll tell you this last ex of mine was a real piece of work.
So, yeah. So basically you're saying that you had to try to initiate the intimacy, the sex more often, towards the end because he stopped initiating. Yep. Did you ask him about that? Did you talk with him and say, hey,
No, because it got to a point where we were hardly seeing each other at that point. He was hardly coming around. So it got to a point where, see, this was the first time that we had issues, and we kind of split before that. What was that? January of no, was it January of last year, sis? Did me and him split? Yeah, it was for a couple weeks because. Okay, is that Daimo or Nini behind that one? Because I know sissy, my one sissy, let's just say she was ready to whoop some behind. But yeah, and then we got back together, and okay. I should have just went with my gut instinct then and not got back with him. But
why did you? So why did you get back with him?
That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, I cannot wrap my brain around why I did it and why I stayed with him.
I could tell you why I think if you want my opinion about it, I'd be happy to.
Go for it.
Well, people get emotionally attached, especially ladies. Guys get emotionally attached too.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. He would not use the word love. He said people threw it around too much and misused it.
Okay, let's stop right there. That's important because let me be honest with you, Mutt. Hey, give me 1 second here to explain this. Hold on a second. So, I've been through this before as well, where there was a point in my life, even in my early 40s, where I had a hard time telling women that I loved them. And let me tell you, Mutt, it's an insecurity. I'll admit I went through that period.
He wouldn't even tell it to his own family. He never told his mother, his father, his sisters he loved them.
Well, that's it. But what that says to me, and I worked through that fairly quickly, but some guys will never get it. The thing is, it's an insecurity because he's not happy within himself, and he wasn't happy in your relationship. It sounded to me like this guy was trying to do whatever it would take to make himself feel better. I'm not trying to discredit you. You're a great woman, but it sounded like he was trying to get together with any woman that would give him the time of day. And if let's say he had a couple, 2, 3 women, he would maybe toggle them around. There are guys like that will play the field because they're insecure and they're immature and they're doing whatever they can to try to make themselves feel better, and they don't have a care deep within. They don't have a care for your feelings. Now, it may appear like they're into you initially because anything new is going to be exciting no matter what. But then after a while, their true colors come out. It sounded like to me like you're dealing with a very insecure and immature guy. And wasn't this guy about 10 years younger than you?
He just turned 34.
So he was about almost 10 years younger than you.
Yeah, because the guy I'm with now, it's only 6 years between us. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, the guy I'm with now, he's always checking on me. He's always texting me, or we're FaceTiming or we're on the phone. And he's even gone, like say he's gone to be with his daughter for Christmas, but yet he's still making time for me. We're still FaceTiming. Right now, he's out hunting, so he got he got a shot off this morning, but I don't think he actually hit anything. But, but I mean, me and him have so much in common, and I had to pretty much tell him to go to sleep last night, and go ahead and hang up the FaceTime. He didn't want to hang up, and I could see he was falling asleep. So, but it's like, yeah, there's 6 years difference between us, but you can't really tell it because we're right there on that same wavelength. Now, see, my grandparents, the age, their age difference. My grandfather was 16 years older than my grandmother. That's what I said, Mother. Leave the little froggy in my throat alone. He's not making me say stuff right. And they lived till death do them part. My grandmother died of Alzheimer's and dementia, and then my grandfather died of cancer. He died first, and then my grandmother passed away. But so to me, age is nothing but a number when it comes to a certain number.
Sure, but wait, hold on 1 second there. Let me respond to that.
Hey, Matt. How are you?
Here's what I noticed, Mutt, is that we're in a different world nowadays where we have different generations. You're Generation X, I'm Generation X. The men that you're dating are millennial men, and
he's right there on that. He's right there on that cusp of.
Well, the cutoff is 40. But here's the thing: there are some millennial men that are mature. Maybe this guy is one of those mature guys. I'm not saying that all millennials are bad or messed up, but the majority.
The cuckoo flew over the nest.
Right. The majority of these, millennial men are not being raised with the same morals, values, and ethics that you and I have.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're just like
they're being raised.
Really allowed to do what they want.
Well, they're being
owed the world.
They're being raised from a broken home. Maybe they didn't have the father or the mother in the picture. Maybe one or the other. Maybe they, were
I see a lot of that here in my town.
Yeah, it happens. So these men are not being raised to be, strong men, and they don't have that soft and sweet motherly figure to give them a nurturing side. So these guys are out there trying to fend for themselves, and they're trying to, figure out how to be a man. And I have to be honest, they're failing miserably. I
like what Max said. Max said, "I'm a boomer. I know how to act like a real man."
and I'm Gen X, Mac. I'm 47, bro. I'm right there with you. I'm not a boomer. You're probably
Max he's a good friend of mine. He lives up in New York. So are you still snowed in up there, Mac?
Return of the Mac. Let's call him Return of the Mac, like that song by Mark Morrison, Return of the Mac. I remember that song, Return of the Mac. That was a great song. But yeah, to continue real quick before I turn it back over to you, so you've got the millennials and the post millennials, and they're being raised differently.
Yeah.
And so, that's why for me, I've had issues dating women under the age of 40 now. I'm beginning to realize that the youngest.
I've had issues dating younger people, but I've also had issues dating a couple older people too. But
well, it happens too. Mutt. There are
I
a
guess
lot
it's just those country hillbilly people. But believe me, some of them were country hillbilly.
Right. But Mutt, real quick, the thing is, like, yeah, there are. If you haven't noticed here on YouTube, I'm sure you noticed there are a lot of trolls and haters and insecure and immature people. You have 30, 40, 50, and 60-year-old men that are behaving.
They shall remain nameless, and we could name some, but
they're behaving like 2-year-old little girls, and they come out here on YouTube to project their insecurities of what they're lacking. And so they look at people like you and I that are happy, positive people. And that's why they troll. That's why they do what they do. And those are the people you just have to stay away from. And not because here's the thing, Mutt, drama. I've realized this. I already knew drama was bad before I got on YouTube. And I
I've told you before, I went through it on another program. So to me, it's just, I don't have to deal with hearing what they're saying. I just see what they're typing. I don't have, on the other program, we could compare. It was like, I wish YouTube would do that, have like that chat program. So your people in your chat could, but, that's just but maybe it works better this way. But yeah, so I've learned how to grow a thick skin from that program, and and I can deal with them. I don't want them to get to me. I never have. And see, I grew up when I was going to school, I was bullied bad, and it weren't because of my looks, it was because of my last name. So, and then I lived out in the country and all that. But so I learned how to grow a thick skin probably by the time I was 10.
Yeah. And Mutt, real quick, just to finish up what I was saying a second ago about what you're talking about. So, before I came onto YouTube, I had gotten rid of all the drama in my life. I had to even get rid of some longtime friends that
I've done the same thing.
That were basically, trying to control my life and trying to, get in the way of accomplishing what I want to accomplish for myself. And when people do that, I'm going to get rid of them because I'm not going to let anyone get in the way of what I'm trying to accomplish. But now, so I took care of that, right? By the time I hit my mid-30s, I had gotten rid of all that drama and I was fine. Then I came on YouTube and I didn't realize that now you're basically starting over. You've got the whole world at your fingertips, right? And then and so you're going to be dealing with a bunch of these immature, insecure men, feminized men that don't love themselves, and then they come out here and project their insecurities on the people like me. And for the first 2-3 years, I would go toe to toe with these people trying to help them out, right? But here's the thing. The only way that you can move past these people and not let them affect you, especially out here on YouTube, is to just cold turkey ignore them, block them on your channel, and just don't even acknowledge them, because these people feed off of, they're probably feeding off of me just even sharing this example right now, right? These people are sick. They're so sick in the head. They're so sick in the head and so weak that
I'm doing good, Genesis. Thank you for asking.
Let me just stop real quick.
Mac, I like what Mac said about his girlfriend. She's 40, but was raised in a traditional family. Mom and dad knows how to make a relationship work.
Yeah, that's the Gen X, cutoff, and millennial cutoff. But basically, real quick, before I turn it back over to you, like I said, these people, like, you've got these grown men in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s that just get off on this. And I've realized that, hey, look, you know what? You just can't feed into these people. You don't give them what they want, and eventually they're just going to get bored and they're going to go away. Like, for example, I blocked them all on my channel. I've gotten rid of all of them. I made my chat members only chat since I'm a monetized channel, and you'll be monetized soon too. So what happens? We knew they were going to come here today, and I'm not going to talk about them in detail. I'm just going to say this for example. So now they're coming here because this is the only avenue they have to try to take a stab at me. And that's fine. We're not talking about them. We're just, you guys come in, we ban you, have a nice day. It's all good. And give Mutt some views and some watch time, and it's all good.
That's like I said, good. You know, they can run up my watch time. Thumb up, thumb down, it doesn't matter. It's still a view.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And Jensis, yeah, you know the trolls are out. You know how to get them, girl. But
Mutt, you know what the funny thing is? Let me say this real quick, and I'll turn it right back to you. Here's my favorite phrase: "Karma has no deadline, and you mess with the what?
Bull, you get the horns.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns." Let me tell you to the trolls. Karma has no deadline. You mess with the bull, you will get the horns. And let me tell you, more of the horns are coming. Put it to you that way. More of the horns are coming. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, go ahead, Mutt.
But yeah, so
it's all good. It's 2 days before Christmas, and I feel good. But go ahead, I feel good.
Let's see, which other extra I want to talk about? There was the one I gave the 3 chances to, but that was for a different story.
Three chances. Wow.
Yeah, but he only wanted to come see me like after midnight most of the time. That was just a fling, basically. So,
but you were aware
that was like an in-between fling between relationships. But the one before the guy I was with that went to jail, that's one. Oh, I wish a couple of my friends from the other program were here because they could really tell you about that one and another one. Oh. That's the one that I know you all have seen my tabby cat in my videos, or when our Orange and White cat was still alive. I was dating him for 3 years. We've been together for 3 years. Everything was good. Everything was good.
Was it looking good too? If it's not too personal.
Yeah. Surprisingly, yes.
Excellent. Continue. It's your show.
Because of him, me and my mom, and he was living with us, we kind of got put out of where we were living because he wouldn't help us pay the rent. We got behind, and they kicked us out for 2 months rent. We were only 2 months behind, and there's people in that daggone. But that was for a good thing. That was a. I'm glad. Me and my mom are actually glad that kind of happened. It got us away from that area. That's not a good area anymore. Because they just had a shooting over there. What, 2 or 3 nights ago? And right after we got evicted, there was a meth lab found 2 doors down from where we were living. So we had the cats. I had his stuff. You know, we were staying temporarily with someone else, and then we moved in here 6 years ago. So we were still together till probably I had been here 2 years. Yeah, 2nd year we were living here. He leaves his Facebook logged in on my computer. So I'm thinking it was my Facebook. I'm just going on like it was. I'm like, this isn't my Facebook. And then a message pops up from this girl he's with, who is mentally challenged, by the way.
Interesting.
Her parents condone. She's the same age as him. What's she, 30? He was 36 at the time. But she has the mind of a 14, 15-year-old. Her parents condone the 2 of them being together. So so I messaged him from my Facebook saying, I know you're cheating on me. I seen you left your Facebook logged in. Okay. What was it? 2, 3 days later, sheriff shows up at my door late at night with a peace order. he's saying I was stalking him, his mom, his new girlfriend, and they feared for their life.
So he went and filed a restraining order, and you got served.
What?
You got served by the sheriff.
Even the cop said it was BS.
Sure.
No, because it gets better. Okay, I could not go near his work, which the only time I ever went near his daggone Walmart he worked at is when we went on vacation and we'd stop there to get our groceries before we went to the hotel.
Okay.
So that was like once a year. I don't go because that Walmart's like an hour away from me. I could not go near his house or his dad's house. He was staying at a shed at his dad's house, by the way. One of those prefab sheds you can put in your backyard. Then he also tried to have me banned from going to a NASCAR race in Dover, Delaware.
Wow.
Which I would have gone to the race anyway. But, so I didn't show up for the court case. So he shelled out the money for the peace order. I didn't care that it was there because I wasn't going to neither one of the places anyway. When I told him this was all before, and I told him he had to come get his cats and his stuff. He told me he threatened a friend of mine. He threatened to go take a dump on my dad's grave. Then he told me to take the 2 cats and throw them out in the middle of the road in front of a truck or burn them alive in a burning barrel. Oh, yeah, and my mom was using him as a chauffeur when he was living with us to go get groceries and stuff. So anytime we need to go somewhere, he wanted $25 worth of gas put in his car. Every time.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we got that the story about Zoe Jen Sissy and Francis. When we got put out, he actually moved out before then. He moved out like 6 months before then and moved back to his dad's city so he'd be closer to work. And he told me, this girl was just a friend of his mom's. She was mentoring. Yeah. So, and let's just say, we went to a restaurant, me, him, and my mom. And he thought because the service wasn't well. It was an all-you-can-eat place. And the service is immaculate at this place. We love it. They're always attentive. If you've got finished plates sitting on the table, they come get them off within a matter of minutes after you're done eating. And he thought that the staff was hovering and trying to rush us, and he didn't like where they seated us. And he filed a complaint against them to get his money back. Wow. His dad, I still to this day think his dad caused his own accident falling down a well. You had to climb down to get to the well in one of the towns where up the road from me to get the insurance money and stuff, and then sued the town for faulty equipment and all this. Well, if you're going to go down a 20-foot shaft, why aren't you wearing a safety harness?
Yeah, I hear you. Some people just aren't prepared, or don't take the right safety precautions.
Then he wanted to tell me. This was the kicker. He wanted to tell me, my own aunt who knew him and my cousins, he wanted to tell me that they were telling him to get rid of me, when I know that wasn't true, because I was in contact with my cousin and my aunt my cousin behind the scenes. No, it wasn't true. Believe me, it wasn't true. They weren't saying that. But and then he wanted to bring one of my other cousins into it, because he wanted to say, your cousins shouldn't be sleeping together. First off, my 2 cousins aren't even blood. They're together, but we're not blood cousins. Yeah. So It's just my aunt's husband's son from a previous relationship. So he wanted to bring my family into it, and that's when I really got irate with him.
Wow. Huh.
I'm like, look at your own family. Your sister don't even know if she's male or want to be male or female.
Wow.
Yes, go on in, Mom. It was an ambulance. Yes, it was Lifestar.
Wow.
Oh, some things people say. I just remember back to things that he said. And then I'm like, it was the lot. That's when, everything was fine. It was after I found out that, and he was trying to say I stalked him and all this stuff. Dude, you left your Facebook logged in on my computer in my house. So, even the cop said that wasn't stalking.
Wow. So Mutt, let me ask you this here. So we've heard a couple of your stories, and
that's just a few. I could tell you a million. Believe me.
Oh yeah, and I've got some stuff to share too. But what?
Go for it.
Well, here's the thing. Like I want to dissect what you've been through. What questions, like, are you curious about regarding your past relationships that you haven't been able to figure out? Maybe I can give an opinion on that.
It was just the one why I stayed in this last one as long as I did. But we already talked about that a little while ago. The other ones were like so easy to, get out of, and I was like, moved on, it's just this last one was just, I guess, like you say, I had an attachment and I just had to figure out. It took me about 5 weeks to really figure that out and get to just let it go. And I don't know if it was meeting the guy I'm with now did that, or subconsciously I just let it all go.
I think probably you realized that it just wasn't worth your time, and you realized what was going on based on your past experiences when you've dealt with this regarding other men.
I told him, I should have just told him, bye, Felicia. Oh yeah, Mom. And this is the kicker. Mom don't even know this one yet. Yeah, I went back on Plenty of Fish, and they had that new where you can chat with, like live stream. I just did it to make friends, because in the live stream it doesn't matter, men, women, all come in there. It's like like chatting.
Right.
Well, this guy comes in, and I'm like, I know the picture. And he says hi to me. He says, told me I didn't look my age. I pull it up. Lo and behold, it was my mom's freaking ex.
Wow.
I blocked that. I blocked it quick, fast, in a hurry. He's still on there, and he's still in town. Yes, because he was in my live stream on POF the other night, a couple nights ago. And it creeped me out that I left my live stream. I mean, for one, that Christmas he came here, he didn't like a gift that we gave my niece. I got this little doll in the mail from my niece for free. And it said it had a surprise in its diaper. Oh, it had a surprise, all right. Let's just say it wasn't a little girl. The doll actually had a pop out. My sister thought it was hilarious. Everybody thought it was hilarious, except him. He didn't like how loud people got and all that. Yeah. He was raising his voice to her because she got to talk about something else, and he would get mad about because she started another conversation because she thought he was done talking about the first one. But and then he wanted to tell my mom that I was faking my headaches.
Wow.
So she told him, bye, quick, fast, in a hurry. But yeah, so. Oh yeah, he told my mom if he could win the lottery, that she was going with him, that family could travel.
Wow. Okay.
And this one, they weren't even together, weren't even really together at that point. Weren't even 2 or 3 weeks in. But some people these days, though. Nala's being rotten today. Nala's always rotten. Zoe's asleep, so it's peace and quiet with the cats right now. But yeah, so that was the only question I had, is why I stayed with that person so long. I don't know who she was referring to, but I've heard that song.
Okay.
Somebody, I don't know those old songs.
I think what happens, Mutt, is that I think everybody wants to find true love, whether they admit it or not. Even the insecure people want it. And sometimes
they just don't know how about going about doing it.
Well, once you get with someone, you get used to them being around, even for a few months. You don't want to let that go if it even feels good initially. Even if you know it's heading the other way, sometimes you try to hold on to it when you know it's not right. What I try to tell people is, when something starts not feeling right, you got to talk about it with the other person right away.
I actually have another ex I did that with for a while until, let's just say, we had an issue. He spit in my face. I slammed him into a wall.
Oh boy.
He went to go back to his mom. We didn't split up at that point. We just had an issue, but he went to go visit his mom because his grandmother was really sick at the time. But you leave Maryland to go to Kentucky now. The only bus you say you could get is going to take you to Massachusetts and then back down. Okay. He wound up going to Massachusetts and staying with a so-called friend of ours from that chat program. Left her house, went to another friend of ours from that chat program, stayed with her for a while, back to the other woman, back to that girl, then down to Kentucky to another friend of ours from that chat program, left that one, met another girl, married her, supposedly got that girl's daughter pregnant. That girl's now divorced him, kicked him out, and nobody knows where he's at now, and we don't care.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a saga. That was like 10, 11 years ago, though.
What lessons, Mutt, have you learned from these experiences about these guys? And typically you tend to
do more research.
Okay, that's good. And here's the thing, because I have some interesting stories to share about myself in my 30s, and this is going to be interesting, but I'm curious to know, are you just more attracted to guys that are a little bit younger than you? I mean, a lot of women in their 40s. A lot of women in their 40s.
Well, my ex-husband was 3 years older than me, but that was a whole different situation. But yeah, I always have been attracted to younger people.
Okay, so because I what I've realized, and I realized this more in my 30s, and I'll share more in a second here, but what I realized is that like a lot of women in their 40s, early 40s, especially women that have had kids and now their kids are grown, they like to get with men in their
My
early
kid's
30s.
laying over there. She's four-legged and furry.
They like to get with men in their early 30s, or so younger, like 5, 10 years younger, because these women are in their sexual prime, and a lot of times when men hit their 40s, they're like dead in the sack. And so a lot of times they try to do that. And the interesting thing is, and before I get your opinion on this, is that in my 30s, there were a few women I was friends with them, and they wanted to be with me, they wanted to be intimate with me and all that, but I never took it there because I didn't want to be with an older woman that just wanted to have sex. Even me, like I've always wanted a real relationship, and I've
Yeah,
always
that's how I am. That's how I am.
right
It's
like
I look
sex
at
to
it that's just a bonus in the relationship.
right. So here's the thing, like what a lot of people don't understand about me is that I've had a lot of opportunities to be intimate with many, many women. The bottom
Okay,
line
Jen,
is
I see your messages. You're washing dishes.
the thing with myself is that I am not fulfilled even intimately with someone unless there's an emotional and mental bond. I've
Yeah,
always been
that
I've all
chemistry, that connection. Yeah.
right, right. And so, but the interesting thing is this, Mutt, is I see this in a lot of women, and I see it in you, is that women in their early to mid 40s want to date men 30 to 35 because of the fact that they have more stamina, they're more energetic, and women are now hitting their sexual prime. Men hit their sexual prime when they're 18, and a lot of men, by the time they get to my age, they're like dead in the sack, right? Which for me, that I'm still going like I'm 18, but that's not usual for
That's
most men.
yeah. That's not where it goes with the one I'm with now. But
No, no,
I'll keep that I'll keep that story for another time.
I understand, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. When I was in my 30s, okay, I was
Hey,
Gen X.
Frozen, how are you?
When I was in my 30s, the generation switched to the millennials and
Jen,
post
I know
millennials.
who Frozen Art is, by the way. They're okay.
Okay.
Wherever Frozen is, Frozen might be Frozen.
So when I was in my early 30s, like I said, the generation had not switched over to primarily millennials and post millennials. So when you had 40-year-old women coming after 30-year-old men, we were still from the old school generation. Now you've got women in their early 40s, let's say 41 and above, because 40 is the cutoff between Gen X and millennial. And they still want to be with younger men. The difference is now there's a huge generation gap. So now,
oh yeah, yeah.
You got raised differently, and now, because like a lot of women, they like to date younger men for the reasons I mentioned. Now you're dealing with a different type of man that in my opinion has been raised differently and is
I
very
can't tell you.
lost, very
Totally
lost compared
understand
to when I was in my 30s, you know, you know, let's say 10 plus years ago. Does that
Oh
does that
yeah,
make sense to you, or what are your
yeah.
thoughts about that?
Like
Do
you say,
women like
it's all how the person is raised. The type of home they're raised in, the type of, are they raised with the family values, and you know, you do wrong, you're going to get the consequences and stuff like that. Kids,
right?
I've seen kids that my mom taught in Head Start that wound up, they're in jail, or they've got multiple baby daddies, or baby mamas, and they're not even paying their child support and stuff like that. And it's sad.
Oh, it is. But to you, Mutt, what is the attraction factor? I know you said age is nothing but a number, but let's go deeper in this. What is the
I'm always
attraction
attracted
factor
to
to dating
I'm
younger men?
attracted to eyes. It's just something about a person's eyes.
Oh, I understand that, but you tend to date men younger than you, and
I don't that's always how I've been. I never, I don't know. I don't really know
but
why,
let, but let me ask you this: do you feel that all the men you've dated that are younger than you have been very immature and insecure to a certain extent?
I would say out of the 10 people I've dated, because I've had a couple that were really long relationships, most of them were kind of, I'd say 9/10 of them were immature.
Okay. Okay.
To some degree, some more than others.
Okay. Okay. Now, back in the days of traditionalism, from what you remember, and from what I have seen, I didn't see, older women dating younger men, because those were the days where women were dependent on a man for survival. So typically, if you were to date a younger man, they were not able to provide what an older, more established man could provide. Now we're in a world of modern day feminism where women have the same rights, like I mentioned on my channel all the time. They're working, they're buying their own homes, their own cars, they have their own money, and they don't really need a man for anything unless they want to have a kid, and then they can even go to a sperm bank.
Oh yeah, they don't even need
and get artificially inseminated, right? So the world has shifted, right? The world has totally shifted to the point of where it's really changed relationship dynamics in many, many ways, unlike anything I've seen. And it's just, in my opinion, it's just put us in a tailspin of where people just don't want to have real relationships. They don't want to settle down. They don't want to have a family. And I've even questioned this in the past. I'm thinking maybe within 500 years, the population may start going down, and down the road, we're not going to be around during this time, but maybe the human species will become extinct. What's that?
I said, if this pandemic don't wipe it out first.
Well, I don't think the pandemic's going to wipe us all out. I think we're making progress, and I get it. I think the potential thing that could wipe out, human beings is exactly what's happening right now. Is the fact that the traditional household is pretty much almost dead for the most part. Not completely. There are still people that believe in it.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, it's one thing for women to have been liberated, to be empowered, to do the same things that only once men were able to do. But at the same time, it has basically shifted the relationship dynamics to the point of where women don't need a man for anything. And a lot of times women will not have kids anymore. Women will not get married. Women will just, date around like men. And look, the more and more women that, start to think that way, the less reproduction there's going to be. The population will start going down. Eventually it'll get extinct. I mean, does that make sense to you? It's just, this is a strange time to be living, to be honest with you. I'm not saying it's a bad time, but it is completely different than any other time in history that we've seen.
Yeah. That was the other issue with this past ex too, because he brought that up about children, knowing that I can't have kids for one, but he always wanted to bring that up about what if he did want one. I'm like, we haven't been together that long. Kids are nowhere in my car, even in the realm. I know adoption, all that, but they weren't even in the realm of, possibilities at that time.
Right. But Mutt, here's the thing. I've shared my Match.com profile many times on my channel, and a lot of my haters have criticized it, which I don't care. I'm a straightforward.
Like says, haters gonna hate.
Right, but here's the thing. I'm a straightforward guy. I put exactly what I'm looking for and what I'm not looking for. And when I'm talking with a woman, my first conversation by phone, I'm finding out, does she have kids?
Hi, Louis. Welcome in.
Does she have kids, or does she not have kids? And whether she has kids or not, does she want kids? Is she still able to have kids? I'm asking all these questions before I even meet them, Mutt, because that way it will prevent a situation like you just mentioned, He's saying that
Honestly, I was upfront with him from the get-go, and it's even in my profile, you know. So he knew that from Jump Street, you know. And I'm like, why are you gonna slow your roll there? You know, I didn't tell him that. I actually told him slow his roll on that one. How are you, Lewis? You know, so I'm like, we hadn't even been together 2 months before he brought that up.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Mutt. If you brought that up right away, and then he comes back at you and says, you know, I'm looking for someone to have kids with, he already knew that 2 months ago. That's a sign to me saying that he's just either not feeling it or he's trying to find an easy way to leave the relationship. And that's why with me, like I said, Mutt, whenever I'm getting to know someone, I'm always upfront, and you know, I'm a strong man. I'm a good guy. I'm a nice, decent guy.
Hi, Auntie Trish.
But I don't put up. But I don't put up with any BS, even initially. Like I stick to my guns. And at the same time, I'm also looking for a woman that is not going to try to act like a man in this crazy modern world. I'm looking for a woman that has her stuff together and is working and is strong, but also in the relationship is going to be more submissive than dominant, and understand that men are going to be more dominant than submissive. And that's what you're seeing nowadays, Mutt. You're seeing a lot of women. You're seeing
there's
women
a perfect example right there.
Yeah.
Trish Love can tell you the hell I have been through with exes.
Sure.
That's my auntie. She can tell you what I've been through.
Right. No, I get it. And you deserve the best, Mutt. What I'm saying is that, you know, I've been in your shoes in my younger days, and I started to figure out, you know, what I truly wanted and how to go upon getting what I want. And that's being upfront, and more so asking a lot of questions up front. And if something doesn't work for me, even on an initial phone conversation with a woman that I met from online, I won't meet her. I'm not going to push something that doesn't completely or closely align to what I believe in. Okay. And that saves a lot of problems. If you have a 1 or 2 hour phone conversation with someone that you're chatting with online that seems to be going well, maybe you think she's cute, maybe she thinks you're cute, maybe you think your profiles resonate,
4
right?
5 hour FaceTimes.
Well, I mean, well, sure. If you're talking that long, then they're
5 or
better.
6 in a day's time.
Right, but here's the thing, Mutt. It doesn't see. You can talk with somebody for 5 hours and not find out important information that's a deal breaker or not.
Oh yeah.
So this is what I do. My time is valuable. I will get on a phone call with a woman, and I will see how the first half hour to hour goes on that call. I will ask her questions in that first hour to see how open-minded she is, to see how guarded she is, to see if she's willing to share anything about herself. Because a woman that's going to hold things back, even from a first conversation, is going to have her guard up, and it's not going to work out down the road. Someone that's ready to have something is going to be willing to share anything and everything about themselves, even when they're first getting to know someone. Women that give the excuse and say, Eli, you're asking a lot of questions. What is this, 20 questions? What is this, an interview?
That's what I told people too. How are you going to get to know somebody without asking questions?
If they resist your questions, Mutt, that means they're not in a good place emotionally, and they're trying to hide something that they know will affect you from wanting to meet them. So why not find out that you're not compatible with them, you know, by asking these questions? And then if they don't answer them, then you say, look, hey, if you're not open to answering these questions, like communication and trust is important to me. And also being emotionally open and available is important to me.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't think this is going to work. You know, well, wait a minute. You know, don't you want to wait and get to know me more in person? Well, I want to find out if it's even worthy of meeting you, because I want to see the headspace you're in. in general, before I even take the time to get dressed, all dolled up, and drive out to meet you, whether it's for coffee, whether it's for dinner, whether it's for hiking or whatever, right? I don't want to waste. I've gotten to the point of with some women, when I know it's not going to work, I will tell them this, and then they sit there, they're all like dumbfounded. They're all like, oh my God, right? They're shocked that I'm calling them out, right? Because this is what they're used to, Mutt. Let me tell you what they're used to.
How are you?
Let me tell you what these women are used to hearing. They're used to dealing with feminized beta males that will conform.
Super stuff. Hey, sissy. Now there's one that could tell you about my last ex. We'll have to bring sis up on panel.
Okay, they're used to dealing. These women are used to dealing with feminized beta males that will conform to all their wants and needs and not ask questions that can qualify or disqualify these women that these guys are talking with, and that's what happens. So these women are used to dealing with feminized, beta, insecure, immature men. When they come across a guy like me, and I'm actually asking them important questions that are going to allow me to figure out if they're in a good place and worthy of even meeting on a first date, these women put a guard up and they're like,
no, he's not bothering me, Steph. We're just talking about past relationships. And believe me, I released some stuff about him and I don't care if he sees it.
But here's the thing, Mutt. Here's the thing. Do you want to know what the best way to get over someone and move past someone is? Move on with your life. And
that's what I'm doing.
And don't let them get to you. And it's okay to talk about it every now and then. Like the reason why I talk about my stuff is because I do coaching, and I want to use personal examples of what I've experienced to help other people learn from them, right? But I think like for anyone else, I think that putting the past behind you and not giving these exes anything, even on your YouTube channel, at some point, cutting them off cold turkey, that's going to be the best thing. You're going to move on. You got a new guy. The old guy then is going to be, looking to see if you're going to keep talking about him. And if you stop talking about him, that's going to be the best. That
I just had to release a few things, though. I mean, sure. I want to put it out in, like they say, put it out in the universe, just to get rid of it. But Auntie Trish, I also talked about Brett and Jailbird, and you know who I'm talking about. Believe me, she could tell you some stories about those two. Yeah, like Steph said, he ghosted me.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Let me respond to what's, hey, Super Steph, how are you doing? Hey, Lewis Fuller, Butterfly Jen. Hey, everyone. Ariel Williams. Hey, everyone. Let me respond to that, Mutt, if that's cool with you.
Go for it.
You got to understand one thing here. It's not nice to be ghosted. Both men and women ghost each other nowadays. It's just the way things are. It is pathetic and it's immature. But here's the thing. If you're the one that's getting ghosted for a month, you allowed that to happen to yourself. At some point, you gotta learn to pick up and realize and notice when a relationship is starting to go the other way.
I kept messaging him, trying to get him to talk to me for that whole month to get it out, to get out there what was going on so I could figure out where to go from there. But it was like there was no contact. And I'm the point that when a relationship's going that way, I want the contact to be able to, I don't care if it's civil or not. It's the being able to voice what I want to say to that person, not via text. Yeah, Auntie Trish, he ghosted me and then done it all, when we broke up, it was all via text.
Yeah, but let me share this.
Uncle D is going to haunt him from the grave. I can tell you that.
Right. Let me give you an example, Mutt, if that's okay with you. Because I shared this on my channel recently for the first time. I'll share it again here. In the past, I dated a woman. I was dating her for quite a while. And basically everything was great. We would go hiking on the weekends. We'd spend time on the weekdays, sometimes at her place, sometimes at my
Me and
place.
him.
And here's the thing: the sex was great. It was all it happened all the time. We both enjoyed it. We both had great conversation, total chemistry. Everything was there. And one night, she was at my place, and when she came over, I was taking her out to. I was taking her out to.
Yeah, you were telling us about this on your live a couple nights ago.
Yeah, let me just share this for your audience, and then we'll talk about it.
Mhm.
So when we were driving to dinner, when she came to my place, I tried to put my hand on her thigh, and she's like, "Can you just slow it down a little bit?" And I'm like, I never saw that, and we were together for quite some time. And we went to dinner, and dinner was okay, but she was kind of a little bit snappy after dinner for some reason, right? And then we came back to my place. We were snuggling, and I wanted to be intimate with her. Like we've always just gotten intimate. It was just a natural thing, right? And then she said, I'm just not feeling well. So, I tried to ask her what's going on, and tried to just hold her. And she got out of my bed and went over to my living room and slept on my couch. 10 minutes later, I went over to my couch, and I went to say, "Hey, what's going on? Are you okay? I mean, I'm here for you." She's like, "I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go home." So she gets up, gets her stuff, and basically walks out, goes home, and texts me when she gets home that she made it home safely, and I never heard from her again. Now,
Trish can tell you, I've had a couple exes like that as well.
But I was together with her for a while. Okay, I was together with her for quite some time, and here's the thing: what I chalked it up to, Mutt, is maybe an ex-boyfriend came back in the picture. Something happened to her that completely changed her emotions. There was nothing wrong with our there was nothing wrong with our there was nothing wrong with our relationship. We got along well. We were both attracted to each other physically, mentally, emotionally. The sex was constant and great. And all of a sudden, boom, right? No explanation, no nothing.
I know that factor.
And
I had that happen with a guy too.
This is a woman that was 5 years younger than me. So today that I'm 47, she's 42. So the thing is this: people do that nowadays. People ghost nowadays. It is scary to get involved and commit and emotionally attach to someone, because you just never know what's going to happen. You could do everything perfect. You could do everything right, and it still may not be good enough.
Okay, wait a minute. Do we have two different aerials in here?
Yeah, that's probably a troll. I'm going to go check out that channel right now. December 23rd, 2020. That's a troll.
Okay,
I'm going to get rid of them.
Super Stuff would know, because that's not the way Ariel talks.
Nope. Nope. And we're not going to mention who that is, but you and I both know who it is, and it's pathetic.
Yeah. Me and Steph and Jen, we all know Ariel. That's not her.
When you're together with a woman for over a year, and you want to put your hand on her thigh while you're driving, that's just normal.
Yeah, it's just normal. Or hold her hand, or hold, that was the other thing with this last ex. If we were in public, he would not hold hands. He didn't want to kiss me in public. Then he barely wanted to even kiss me before he left when he'd stay here.
Yeah, by the way, Mutt, I have the go-to channel extension, so I'm checking out these channels for everybody, because
Steph pretty much knows everybody that comes in and out of here.
Yeah, but the bottom line is you can't check channels unless you have this plugin anymore, because YouTube removed that. So I can make sure if it's a real person or not.
Steph pretty much knows all of our normal people. So if they try to clone any of our normal people, Steph will know it ahead of time.
Yeah. No, I get it. But here's the thing, Mutt, like I was saying, is that, sometimes, things happen that make you wonder, right? Like, how did this woman give up an almost perfect relationship? I'm not saying it was perfect. Nothing's perfect, but this was as close as perfect as it could get, right? And like I said, sometimes you'll have an ex from the past that a woman's been with for many more years, and they have a stronger emotional bond with them because of the past, or they experienced something with them, and their feelings are going to change, even if everything between you and them for years has been going flawless. And here's the thing, like, I had to sit back and like just let it go. I let it go. I did try to reach out to her a couple times, after a few days, and then I waited a couple of weeks. I tried to reach out to her, never heard back from her. So here's the thing, and I'm not gonna. This is the thing. I'm not gonna beg a woman to be with me or kiss her, or anything like that. I am gonna try once or twice in that situation because, I mean, everything was great. I'm like, what's going on, right? But after that, you have to realize, okay, she doesn't want this anymore. Something else has come in her life that is consuming her and running her emotions, and I gotta let her go. And that's what I did. I shared that because that's what happens nowadays. Even grown adults are ghosting each other. They're not saying, hey, this is not going to work out.
My niece actually went through a similar situation, and she's only 18, but come to find out, the guy that goes to her not only goes to her, just got remarried and has a second child on the way. And she didn't even know that he had a first child. So, yeah. Oh, believe me, my niece is ready to whoop some ass. Angie Trish can tell you my niece is a spitfire. So, so it's not just in, older, it's happening in all generations.
No, it is. And the thing is this, Mutt, is here's the thing. Because we have other options to easily ghost people and eliminate people that we don't want to be with anymore nowadays, people don't, it's not that they don't feel the need to say something. Like, let me explain this. If you're dating a guy for a year, if a woman's dating a guy for a year or two, like this woman was dating me, right? We were dating each other. And then her ex comes in the picture, wants her back. She starts feeling that emotional bond. She was with him longer than with me before that time. And so now she's feeling that she wants to go back with him. But she also knows at the same time, I've done nothing wrong. I'm a good guy. I'm an attractive guy. Take care of myself. I'm fun to be with. Like, there's nothing wrong, right? So for her to tell me the truth and say my ex got back in the picture would make her feel guilty and make her look bad in front of me. And her knowing that she doesn't want to deal with how I'm going to react to it. So instead of telling me the truth, she just ghosts me, and in my opinion, pretends to not feel well, and then uses that as an excuse to leave my place and then never talk with me again out of the blue, right? So think about it, right? So it was much easier for her, and it's much easier for men and women to just ghost people than to have to be truthful and have a clean break and be give each other closure. So nowadays, what I'm teaching people and what I'm saying is that you cannot expect closure anymore. You can't. Closure almost doesn't exist. If you get it, you're lucky, and you're with a good person that has good old morals, values, and ethics. But you got to understand one thing. If somebody ghosts you, it's either because they no longer feel it for you, or somebody from the past or somebody better that they perceive to be better came in the picture. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. You got to let it go, and you got to move on to somebody else. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it get to you.
My Auntie Trish can tell you a couple of years ago, probably what would you say? Back when I was with Brett or Wes. It was either Brett or Wes. Well, AKA Cancer Sticks. She knows who I'm talking about. I would have let it get to me. I mean, I would have had an emotional meltdown over it. But as time went on, I was able to handle stuff better, and now it just rolls off me like off my back like a water on a duck's back, you know. But some people don't know how to separate their emotions and get things straight. They put their emotions in everything, you know. But me, it's just I keep replaying in my brain, why did I stay with him, you know, for so long? When the others, I was able to make a clean break.
So you're asking
with this last one, it was like for the pretty much it was 5 weeks from the time he broke it off, and me and the guy I'm with now met. It took, and that finally, love you too, Auntie Trish. Tell my nephew I said hi, or my cousin, sorry, not my nephew, my cousin, I said hi. It took me, you know, I guess subconsciously to release whatever and get, you know, that hold that I still had.
Okay.
But now, I think now what really ticks me off and hurt the most was the way he went about it. You know, it's not really the breakup itself, because I was starting to see the red flags, and I was already starting to think it in my head. I had already said I'm thinking about walking away from the situation, but I wanted to be woman enough to actually tell him on the phone or face to face, you know, that we're done. You know, I think doing something like that in a text is so impersonal. It's so messed up and impersonal, you know, and I guess I just didn't get the kind of closure I wanted with it.
And what I'm trying to tell you, Mutt, I agree with you. I come from your generation. What you have to understand is that because of the generation switch, which has been created by the millennials and post-millennials, even us Gen Xers and some boomers are handling things. We have the same smartphones. It doesn't matter, you know, if we're Gen X or millennial or Gen Z or baby boomers. We all now have these smartphones attached to our hip. Just like I'm on my beautiful brand new iPhone 12 Pro Max right now.
I'm on the other Android I'm on my other Android, the exact same one. Let's see. This is the one I use for my filming. But the reason I got two phones is, I don't know if y'all can see the tape, and looks worse than Humpty Dumpty when he fell off the wall.
Oh boy.
Steph was there for that situation. She remembers when that happened.
Yeah, but Mud, here's the thing. What I'm trying to share is this: is that you're right, Steph. And then I know Steph's 18. I know she's young, but she's pretty mature for her age. And that's rare, but that's good. That someone
it is rare.
Is that mature.
Like, my niece is the same age as her. My niece has accomplished so much.
Right.
In her 18 years. I mean, she's a firefighter. She's in the EMT state and national. You know, she's going for her firefighter too. And these are goals and stuff that she said at the age of 9, but she's always had that mature mindset from a young age up. You know, and like you said, you don't find that in generations much anymore.
You don't. And Mike, this is what I'm trying to explain. I'm not happy with it either because, you know, I came from, you know, previous generations. This is the first time in history that we've had such a big shift. Why? Because we have too many options. What have these smartphones, what has the internet and these smartphones done, especially smartphones, right? They give us too many freaking options. We're connected wherever we go.
And a lot of parents nowadays, for instance, the smartphone and all come onto the market, They've pacified their children with technology just so they didn't have to deal with them. They didn't want, and that's all they know. A lot of kids you see, that's all. My nieces and nephew, from a young age up, they were limited. And my sister still limits their technological gadgets they can have at times.
Right.
They don't give them that, and they take them, educational places, they're raising them like they should be, If they do something wrong, they get that discipline. A lot of parents don't do that. And then when that person grows up and tries to get in a relationship, they've not seen, you grow up seeing your parents as loving, caring couple, and doing things with each other. But nowadays you don't see that. Parents live in separate homes, broken homes, so they don't get that. What am I trying? How did mom went through a class about it? On broken, kids coming from broken homes. They don't get the structure they need to have those skills when they're old enough.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, Mutt. Let me share this example here and get your feedback, and maybe the audience can say something too. And if you want to bring some other people on, no problem. But just hear me out on this.
Steph, if you want to come on, the link is in the behind the scenes conversation.
So Mutt, if we go back a little over 10 years ago, before smartphones replaced cell phones, right? So it was one thing for us to get mobile phones.
Those clunky, big things.
Right. And they started getting smaller, and then basically they turned the cell phone into a portable computer, right? So
pretty much,
So before those days, when the internet came out about 30 years ago, I used to use Match.com back then. I use it now too. I used to use it, but you had to go on a laptop or desktop. We still had cell phones, but the cell phones didn't have apps.
AOL dial-up, or
you couldn't sit there and check your Match.com messages or anything. Nowadays, you've got these phones. The Match.com app will send you a notification the moment you get a message, right? So what
POF would do the same thing.
Right, but hear me out a second, and then I want to get your feedback. So then you go on a date with a woman that you met on Match.com. You got your smartphone, she's got hers. Now I turn mine, face down when I'm on a date or something like that.
Mine stays in my purse.
Well, so when I used to go on first dates, like for lunch or dinner with a woman, which I don't do that anymore. Now I take them on a hike, because if it doesn't work out, at least you get a workout in and you're not spending any money. And I'm not a cheap guy, but I've learned that a woman has to earn. Yeah. A woman has to basically show me that she's interested before I'm going to start investing more into her, and then I will, right? But here's the thing. Yeah. I've gone on dates in the past where these women open up the Match.com app right at the dinner table and are responding to other guys from their smartphone while we're on our date.
My ex was always on his Facebook. I'd be laying there right beside him, and he's on his Facebook, so I just jump on mine and play a game. So, I was like,
so part of the issue, Mutt, the convenience factor of having
Alex the Beer Master is in the waiting. Let's bring Alex
excellent.
on.
Oh, great. Hey, Alex.
Welcome, Alex.
Let me finish this thought before I lose my train of thought here, and we'll move forward. So, while I understand these smartphones are great and they tremendously changed our lives for the better, in many ways they've made other aspects worse. People are addicted to it. They can't disconnect. Oh, yeah. They use it to connect with people.
I can disconnect myself from social media easily.
People use these smartphones and apps to connect with people. Then once they get together in person, instead of enjoying the time with the people they use these devices to connect with, they're on their device trying to make other plans while they're at the plans that they made by using the smartphone earlier. Like, people just cannot turn these things off. And look, I understand you might get an emergency text. I understand it's okay if you glance at it every now and then. But if you're going to go on a date with someone, put your focus on them and make sure they're putting their focus on you. And if that's not going to happen, then I'm out.
I have it set. If I have family set with different ringtones, so if that ringtone goes off, I know it's a certain family member, and they're only going to call me if something's wrong.
When I'm on a date, or when I'm out with a woman or dating someone on a date, I put that thing on vibrate. I don't put that thing on ringtone because I don't want it to
bite me.
What's that?
The cat just tried to bite me.
That's great. I put that thing on vibrate. You know why? Because think of it this way: if you're on a date with somebody, and your phone keeps ringing like every 5 minutes, that's gonna be annoying. You got to take the other person's feelings into consideration. Put your phone on vibrate or silent, and check it maybe every 30 minutes or every hour or 45 minutes. See if you have an emergency message. You can do that on the lock screen of your phone without unlocking it. And if there's nothing there, put it back in your freaking pocket.
The reason, and I explain it to a guy when I go. The reason I leave my phone on is I never know, my niece or my brother-in-law is going to get called out on a call and something major is going to happen that I'm going to have to fly to a hospital because they got injured, in the fire or whatever. Most guys do understand that, but you got the ones out there that don't. But any other texts, like from Facebook or whatever, I could shut those off. I just leave my ringer on for my families. Which I know my family don't call me unless there's an emergency anyway. They call my mom first.
Sure. You can program your phone to vibrate for the most people or ring for certain. People need to take the time to set up your device to the point of where it's not going to affect you from enjoying your life, whether you're dating someone, whether you're hanging out with family, whether you're hanging out with friends. You got to learn how to balance it out. And look, there's nothing wrong with using the technology. I love it. This is the best damn phone I've ever had, the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And more videos coming from the hiking trail soon.
My Android. I just haven't figured out which Android I want to upgrade to.
Sure. But the thing is, they're great. You just have to learn how to balance them out. Now, Mutt, let me turn it back to you. Sorry. And I know Alex, the beer master, is here. Hello, brother.
Welcome, Alex.
This is actually the second time I've been on Mutt's channel.
He made an appearance right at the end of my. Was it the one day Will and everybody was on, the one we were acting like goofballs, I think.
Yeah, it was Super Steph, even though she changed her name. It's Super Steph, and then your friend David, I think.
Oh yeah, my sweetie.
Happy holidays to you and your family, Alex.
Thank you,
happy holidays, Alex.
Thank you, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas too.
So let's get your opinion, Alex. What do you think about the topic we're on today?
Well, I just got in. I don't know. I really don't know. I saw it on YouTube for a few minutes. I said to myself, you said you have something in the background. I said, you know what? Heck with this. I'm going to join on in. But no, I don't know. I use my phone a lot, but when I'm not using my phone, I listen to my music. So I'm not always on my phone, but I'm always on my phone when it comes to YouTube, though. But
I'm on my phone a lot when I'm in the house, but like say if I'm going to be with family or I'm going to, my significant other, I can detach myself from my phone and I'll throw it in my bag because I'll put my bag on the floor and I can pretty much hear my ringtone because it's one of my favorite songs. So, but like say other than family, I won't touch my phone. And I'll let them know ahead of time that, if that ringtone goes off, I know something's wrong. That, I need to answer that. Or if my mom calls, because my mom does have, she has high blood pressure and everything. She has osteoarthritis and all that. So if she calls, there's usually something wrong.
Right.
If I'm out somewhere.
No.
But other than that, I've been able to social distance myself. I've been social distancing myself before there was even a thing. But I've been able to social distance myself from social media real easy. I can go 2-3 days without even really going on my Facebook.
Right. Now,
Or my Instagram or my pin, Now, a lot of times I do have to go on my Pinterest, my Instagram, my Twitter and all that, because I'm doing a product testing. I have to post all that. But I need to get better at sharing stuff on social media. But when I'm FaceTiming with the guy I'm with now, I don't even pay attention to something popping up on my phone.
You're occupied. You're very preoccupied when you're talking. I can understand that, but
my ex, let's say I just left. We'd be out somewhere. He's on his phone.
Oh wow.
Or we'd be laying in bed at night and he'd be on his Facebook. Or want to be on his video game. Yeah, I'm all for playing video games, but there's a time and a place, and
that should have been your sign. That should have been your sign, Mutt. That it's.
I know. If Auntie Trish was here, she would have told me. She would have kicked my butt about it. But
Sure. But can I say one thing just for Alex, so he knows what we're talking about? So Alex, we've been sharing our relationship experiences and talking about dating in the modern world in general. And what Mutt was saying that people ghost people nowadays. And I was saying, look, in this modern world, even to us Gen X folks, you're from our generation, Generation X. In this modern world, it has become almost, if not standard practice, to not give people closure when you're ending a relationship. People just leave and they block you and they never talk with you again. And I think we have to get to the point of where we have to start accepting that as the norm, whether we like it or not. They either do it by text or they just block you and they ghost you. They don't talk with you, right? It's technology has just made it way too easy for us to get rid of people without giving them a reason why we're leaving or giving the closure that we used to do back in the days before all this technology was mainstream.
There's a new country song out that's called just something about breaking up was easy in the 90s.
Well, I mean,
it was back then. It was so easy because you had to actually pick up the phone, the rotary dial phone.
I wouldn't say it was easy, but I would say it was done more properly. But Alex wanted to say something. Alex?
Oh no, I think just things have changed. I've never been with a girl yet, so I don't know. But I do know experience when it comes to my brother and my sister and all that. So I know through them. But other than that, so that's why I know about dating someone. But beyond that, yeah, it is what it is. Things have changed. Things have changed, obviously.
Yeah, they really have. Believe me, though. I was in high school in the 90s, so it was pretty easy to break up with someone in the 90s. You had to literally either go face to face with them or you were calling them on the phone. There was really no other way. Cell phones were just really, not everybody could afford cell phones back then. Them things were expensive back then.
Yeah, but think of it this way. Let me mention this. If you're looking at the modern world compared to the past, before we had technology to connect us with people, we had to meet people in person through school, through work, through other, social groups we were a part of. And here's the thing. If we were dating someone and we didn't want to be with them, we were going to have to face them at school, at work. And so there was more of a reason to talk it out and give closure, because you had to find a way to continue to work or be around those people because you met them through, school or work or some other place in person. Now
it was hard because you had to sit there through a 90-minute class, and they might have been the person that sat beside you, or they sat a couple seats over from you, and you're like, trying not to have to deal with them.
But think about it this way. Now online, you're meeting people. That's the way you're meeting them, right? You're not connected with them through school or work or anything. And even for kids even for our youth that use apps that are in school, high school or college or whatever, they're typically meeting people from different colleges or different
Oh, yeah.
aspects to the point of where, if the relationship doesn't work out, they don't have to face them at school. So all they have to do is hit block on their phone, hit block on an app, and just ignore them.
Oh,
And even if they come back from different, you can get different numbers and try to, email them. Even if they keep coming back and trying to get through to you, all you have to do is keep blocking people, and eventually they'll just go away and they'll get the hint. So while I still feel closure is something that is good for the soul, it has become it's not a normal practice anymore, in my opinion, based on the modern world. It's not.
No. And it's sad because you can't, people don't realize that some people need closure to be able to move on.
Move on to the next person.
But others are like with me. My past relationships before him, I was able to, whatever, bye, we're done. I was able to disconnect from them.
Right.
Like you say, it was just emotionally, for some reason, I attached myself and let him get into my head and derail me from things, like with Will. I missed that whole transition issue he went through because I was nowhere around because of the guy I was with. Pretty much, he got to a point where he didn't let me talk to my friends even on Facebook.
Wow.
Friends that I've had since birth, or and I think he was even jealous of me talking to my own family online because his family would be there when they wanted to. It was lucky if he seen his mom twice a month.
Yeah. See, Mutt, here's the thing. You're dealing with a lot of insecure and immature people nowadays because they're not learning traditional morals, values, and ethics, and how to treat people by their parents. It's primarily the millennials.
He was raised up in a broken home.
Right.
It's functional broken home at that.
Right. It's primarily the millennials and post-millennials, but not all. There are some that are still raised properly. Don't get me wrong. There are still some people being raised properly, but it's far less than it used to be because traditionalism no longer exists. Again, I go back, I keep mentioning this. I have to keep mentioning it again till people get it. Women were liberated 55 or so years ago to the point of where they have equal rights to men, the right to bear arms, the right to vote. They're working equal pay for equal work, yada, 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 right? So women are going to college, they're getting a degree, they're getting a good job, they're making good money, they're buying their own home, their own car, right? They don't need a man for survival as they did back in the days where a woman could not survive without a man back in the days, right? So
they tried, but you've seen very few succeed.
Listen, if you weren't married, if you didn't find a good man and get married by the time you were in your early 20s or so, basically you were considered a failure back then. You weren't going to make it. Like that's just the way biologically it was made. It was made to be.
It's how society was, yeah.
Right, but now you got to understand something. Nothing wrong with women being liberated and women having equal rights and doing the things that only men were able to do. Where the issue lies is that it has become more difficult now for women to balance a relationship on top of that. So you have women.
They don't look at their priorities. They don't prioritize things.
The thing is, women want to be. Women want to be completely settled in their career before they have a family, before they try to have a family.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But now, I'm getting distracted. I think it's Alex's microphone.
I don't know what.
Alex, can you mute your microphone, please?
I did.
No, you didn't.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. Thank you.
Technical issues.
No, that's okay. So what happens nowadays is that women want to be settled in their career before they think about having a family, right? Well, in many cases, women don't feel completely settled or comfortable that they're settled until their mid to late 30s, right? What happens to a woman in her mid to late 30s? Her biological clock is ticking like hell, right? So, at that point, she's going to be like, I got to rush to find a man now to knock me up. It's just a joke, ladies, but it's true. I gotta rush to find a man that's going to want to be with me. That's going to accept that I'm now in my mid to late 30s and not, in my early 20s where I'm more fertile, more youthful. And if I have kids with a man at age, let's say even 35, when my kid's 15, I'm now going to be 50 instead of 35 or 40, right? So what the modern world has done in one aspect, has given women the rights I feel they should have always had. But at the same time, it is also, basically making women feel like they need to put their love life and their future on hold and focus on their career first. And women are being told that by the system. They're being told, ladies, we don't need a man for anything. Ladies, you need to go and get a degree and get a job and fend for yourselves. They're being brainwashed with this feminist agenda at a young age. And then even if they do find a guy in their mid-30s that's willing to be with them, then they try to act more masculine than feminine. They try to wear the pants and run the relationship. And let me tell you something. There are beta males out there that are going to conform to that. A strong alpha male like myself is not going to put up with a woman that's trying to act more masculine than feminine. But at the same time, those women, when they settle for those beta males, like I was talking on my channel last night, they're not going to realize after a while that man may not be manly enough, may not be assertive enough, may be boring, may be stale, and they're gonna fall out of love with this guy. They're going to they're gonna lose respect for this guy because he's not man enough for them, and then they're gonna end up leaving that guy. Now they're 40, still single, never been married, no kids, and then they're saying, ladies, there aren't any good men left out there. Well, we're out here. You're just not giving the right guys a chance because of the way you've been indoctrinated in this new system to always feel like you have to wear the pants. Where that's not a masculine thing. And listen, one more thing, Mutt, before I get your opinion here. It's not about me as a man wanting to wear the pants. I'm a man and let's say I'm with a woman. I'm masculine, you're feminine. Okay? It doesn't mean that 100% of the time I'm going to be dominant. I'm going to have feminine moments 20 to 30% of the time, but for the majority, I'm going to be masculine 70 to 80% of the time. For a woman, it doesn't mean she has to always be submissive. But if she's not submissive 70 to 80% of the time, and then a little dominant 20 to 30% of the time, then it's just not going to work either. You got to be well balanced. You have to respect and appreciate each other for who you are. The problem nowadays is women are being taught to wear the pants, and they're being told that masculinity is toxic and all this. And look at the issues it's created, Mutt. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. I've seen it here in my own town with generations here. Just because it didn't work for their parents, they're teaching their children, their girls and all, that they don't need a guy in their life. They don't need that drama. I'm like, it's sad. It really is, because you like you say, you got the ones out there that were raised right and looking for that connection with someone, but all they're finding is duds.
Well, the reason why they're doing that, Mutt, is for one reason. They want to wear the pants. And when they come across a guy like me, I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say one thing. It's not a big deal. I'm not gonna put up with a woman's shit. Pardon my French. I'm not gonna put up. I'm not.
That's how I am. But I just, with this last relationship, I just don't understand why I put up with the stuff I put up with.
Well, we'll get to that
When
in a
it's
second.
normally not me.
Right.
Normally I don't put up with the BS.
There's a reason why, and we'll get to that in a second. But just so we handle one topic at a time, this is getting pretty good. Okay. Like, I'm not going to put up with a woman's BS. I'm going to respect the woman in the same way she respects me. If she's good to me, I'm going to be good to her. Okay. And that's the thing. Again, where the problem lies is the way women are raised nowadays, and because of the way the system is with modern day feminism, and because women have way more options today than they've ever had before, including on these smartphones, right? For example, if you're with a woman and everything is going great, how do you not know she's on a dating app and then hooking up with Chad on the side while she's using you because you're the
she's hooking up with 6 other guys on the side?
Well, she's using you because you're the financial provider that the guy that's banging her is not going to be, right? So she's
using
more
you like they say using around here. We call that using you like a sugar daddy.
Well, that's exactly what it is. The bottom line is the beta males are more of the provider, right? Women still want the provider, but they also want someone that's going to rock their world in the bedroom and going to be a well-balanced man, okay? But you're
going to have the connection, the chemistry, It's not all like I told the guy and whatnot. It's not all about the intimacy. That's a bonus. It's all about the communication, the connection, the trust, the accepting each other for who each other is.
Right, Mutt. But here's the thing again. The bottom line is that women want their world rocked in the bedroom all the time, but they also want a well-balanced man that can be a good provider and be a good, decent man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The problem is when they come across a guy like me, I am that well-balanced man. I'm a strong, confident, alpha male type of guy.
Yeah.
I'm a good guy, and I will love and be good to my woman as long as she's good to me and allows me to be a man. The problem is women want to wear the pants, and that's not going to work for me. I'm not going to be with a woman that wants to wear the pants and be more dominant in the relationship than submissive. Now, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that I want to dominate her all day, every day. It's understanding that I'm a man and you're a woman. And what makes me feel masculine is when a woman appreciates me as a man by being submissive. Now, at times you're going to be a dominant woman and it's cool. I can handle that. But if you're a dominant woman more than 20 to 30% of the time, and you're not feminine more than 70, or if you're not feminine at least 70 to 80% of the time, it's just not going to work. It's going to turn me off. I don't want to be with a woman that wishes she had a penis. I want to be with a woman that's happy to biologically be a freaking woman. I also want to be respected as a man as well. That's the problem, the modern day women.
Hey, Will, welcome in.
Now, let me just say this. I mentioned this on a show several days ago on my channel, but here's the thing. I was talking with this one woman, 39 years old. So she's basically the tail end millennial, and she was raised closer to the Gen X era. So I was figuring she had some good morals, values, and ethics. She was a good woman, attractive, 39 years old. I think she was a doctor or something like that, right? And we were talking by phone. We had communicated through Match, and she basically said, when we were talking, after an hour being on the phone, she said, "You're an attractive guy. You're good looking. You got your stuff together. You've got everything going for you that any woman would want. You're just not the right guy. You're just not the right guy for me." And I said, "Okay, if I'm attractive, if you're attracted to me physically, and you like everything that comes along with me, why am I not the right guy for you?" She goes, "Well, I'm more attracted to men that are a little bit more soft-spoken and quiet, or a little bit more quieter, men that aren't as, expressive and in your face." And I'm like, so basically what you're saying is that you like a feminized man. You're like a beta male, right? She goes, "No, not necessarily true." I said, "Ma'am, it sounds like to me Like,
yeah, that would, yeah.
Well, hear me
Now,
out. I
with
want to get your. I want to get both of your opinions. Hold on. It sounds like to me, ma'am, that you want to wear the pants in their relationship. Well, not necessarily true. I just, there's only so much that I can handle, so much that you can handle, ma'am. How have I overwhelmed you? I'm an honest guy. I've got my stuff together. I'm an attractive guy, takes care of myself, and I know what I want. I'm not afraid to share that, be expressive. I'm a great communicator. I'm in touch with my emotions.
Hi,
I'm looking at the
Dixie.
emotion. Like, here's the thing. To me, to her, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but to her, it's like I'm a good all around dude, and she's telling me that. But the reason why she's saying she doesn't think I'm the right guy for her is clearly because she wants to wear the pants, and she knows in a relationship with me, she's not going to get away with any of her bullshit. She's not.
Yeah.
And see, that's the problem with women nowadays. And it's not that I want to call you out on your BS. Just don't give me any BS. Don't give any guy any BS, and you won't feel like you have to have the need to wear the pants. That's the problem, Mutt. The problem is these women want to wear. It's not that they want to wear the pants. They think they want to wear the pants. Then they go. Then they go out with that quiet beta male, like I said. Right? He may be an attractive guy. He may make good money. He may have a nice house. He may have a nice car, but his social skills suck. Okay.
Yeah.
He lacks self-confidence. He's not assertive. And if you're not assertive as a man, that's not a masculine man. That's a feminized man.
No.
So this woman gives this guy a chance, right? For example, then she realizes after a while, this guy is boring me. He's not assertive. He's not making plans. He's not taking me on dates. The sex has slowed down. What's wrong here? Then she starts to fall out of love with him. Then she loses respect for him, and then she leaves him, and then says there aren't any good men left in this world. Why? Because, ma'am, you didn't give the alpha male like myself, a good guy, a chance to be that guy because you want to wear the pants. So the problem is this, ladies, if you want to continue wearing the pants, be my guest. It is well within your right to do so. I'm just letting you know you're going to be single, lonely, and miserable for as long as you do that, because either A, you're never going to get the guy you really want, which is a guy like me that is assertive, but a good guy too, and I'm a real man. You're going to get the beta males that may be a good provider for a while, but they're going to lack everything else that you look for in a man. And then you're going to use the beta male for his money and for him to provide for you, whether you're married to him or not. And then you're going to go bang Chad, the alpha male on the side, right? That's what happens. That's the truth of the matter. I'm being honest. That is the truth of the matter. Go ahead.
I was reading what Dixie said. Yeah, you're right, Dixie. You can't always judge somebody by the cover. You got to look at their inside, their heart, their soul, Mm-hmm. And it does change when sometimes it does change when you get married and you see people for the true colors.
But you should figure that this is the problem with people getting married too soon or not asking enough questions. Why are you going to marry someone if you've gotten to know them for a few years? You should already know everything about them. Like for me, I learned when I'm on the first phone call with a woman to get to know her, I ask a lot of questions. I test her. Pardon me. It's called the shit test. I test her, right? Women are testing men all the time, right? With the shit test. I test women, right? So if they don't pass my test, they don't even get a date with me. That's how confident I am. Okay. So basically, if you ask women questions and they're closed off and they say you're asking too many questions, what is this, an interview? You're damn right it's an interview. Yeah, it is. And if you're going to close up and not tell me things because you think it's too soon, you're basically hiding something that I'm going to find out down the road that would have not allowed us to work out anyway. So why should I even give you the chance? Guys and gals, you've got
to hold the others back.
It looks nice.
You've got to ask a lot of questions. And you've got to see how open the person is, and you got to listen to what they say. And you need to figure out early on, or at least before you get married to someone, if they're worthy of being married. Don't get married to someone that you've dated for 2 or 3 years that's not, not exactly, but not a good person, right?
True that, Eli.
Go ahead, Alex. Does that make sense, dude?
It does make sense. If the person's not a good person, you first of all you need to get to know them, maybe months to a couple years and stuff like that. That's the way I see it as well, because you need to get to know them. Otherwise, marriage might not work out. And you might not have to get married.
Right. I will not marry a woman, real quick. I will not marry a woman that I haven't lived with for at least a year, because I want to see how it's like I want to get a feeling of how it's like to be married with her or to her before I actually marry her, right? Test the waters out.
You would basically pretend you're married to her by going to her house and living with her. Yeah, that's what normal boyfriend and girlfriend do anyway. They live to each other before they get married. That's a smart thing to do before you decide to basically get married. Yeah.
Right. Now, real quick, Southern Dixie Life #Team August says, been with the, hang on, let me squash this troll. Been with the guy for 6 years and we ain't still married. But to be honest, I feel like getting married is just a paper. Here, Southern Dixie, you're right about that. Like, marriage has been overrated nowadays. Now, I still believe in marriage as long as it's with the right person. And if you want kids, I honestly feel people should be married and not have kids out of wedlock. That's what creates all the issues we have nowadays. But you're right. If you're happy with someone and you're not going to have kids, dating, being with them, living with them, dating them, is just fine. Now, you got to also understand there are, common law, marriage laws as well too. And if you live with someone for 10 or 20 years, if you live with someone for 10 or 20 years, you're going to be dealing with a common law marriage anyway. But here's the thing: if you love someone, you want to have kids, have a family, and you've been together a while, the benefits of marriage. Okay, number one, it shows your kids that you're in a great relationship and you're a happily married couple. Number two, it also gives you great tax benefits. When you're married, you can file jointly on your taxes. And you also have, more, tax credits and deductions for your kids. So if marriage is of a benefit to you, if you're going to have kids and, especially if you're going to have kids or you're living together for 10 plus years, marriage would be a good benefit if you trust each other, because you're going to be able to combine your resources and get better tax breaks. So it's up to you. Oh, we have a kid. Well, a lot of people are having kids out of wedlock, and that's just the way it goes. If it's working for you, then it's working for you. But you also have to understand that, when your kids get older, I'm not trying to be critical here. I'm not. Sounds like you're doing well with your man and your kid. But when kids get older, they're going to ask, is mommy and daddy, we're not married. Why? They may ask, why are you not married? How kids are going to ask these questions, and it may possibly affect the way they go out there into this world to try to find true love. So, see, the parents are the example for the kids. The way the parents live their life, the way the mom and the dad lives their life, whether they're married or not, is going to set the example and the tone for how your kids are going to turn out. They're going to be a spitting image of your relationship. But go ahead.
Eli, the best part about you, though, you have your mom to actually support you when it comes to relationships. Because I seen a picture of your mom months ago. You showed it.
Absolutely.
I remember.
And so have the trolls too. At least they think they've got the right one. Sometimes they show the right one, and sometimes they don't. But that's okay. It's all good.
But what I'm trying to say is, you have your mom supporting you, regardless if you get a girlfriend or not, and that's the best part about that. I don't know for a fact, but I'm assuming your mom supports you.
Well, let me tell you something, Alex. And my mother is an amazing woman.
Okay.
Part of the reason why I turned out the way I did was because I got a lot of nurturing love from her. It took me a lot longer to become stronger, which I got from my father, who passed away 12 years ago. But that's not a bad thing, because
26 years ago.
Wow, sorry to hear about that. But again, like my mother to this day still loves me as much as she loved me when I was a 1 or 2 year old. And it can be a little excessive at times. You know, she'll text me and she'll text my brother, and she wants to spend time with us all the time, which, you know, we have our things to do, and we try to hang out with her as much as possible. But the bottom line is, I would rather have a mother like that is annoyingly loving her kids, meaning that always wants to be there with her kids. Like than not have it at all, right?
Yes.
And so now the bad thing, and it's not a bad thing, I love my mother. The bad thing is that my father was working 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, sometimes 16 hours a day, 7 days a week in our younger days when my brother and I were growing up. And my mother was a homemaker, housewife, until she started working, until she didn't start working until I was 16. What happened was I was getting a lot more.
Not the same with mine. Yeah.
Right. What was happening was I was getting more of my mother's traits than my father's traits initially. So I was too nice of a guy initially to people, grammar school, high school, and I didn't know how to handle, you know, situations, kind of like the trolls out here. Same thing in person. People tease you, and I didn't know how to handle that because all I was taught by my mother was to be good to everyone no matter what, and to love everyone the way you'd want to be loved, right? My father, as I started getting older, and he started working a little bit less as he got older, started to really, really share with me how to be more of a man and stand up for yourself and not let people derail you no matter what. Still be a good guy. So still take the nurturing love from your mother, but take the strength of masculinity from your father. I came from a very well-balanced family that showed me both sides, because just because you're a masculine man doesn't mean you can't have some feminine moments. Doesn't mean that you can't be a good, sweet, loving man, even to a woman you're with. There's nothing more I enjoy with a woman than that sweet, loving, romantic time where I can make love. It doesn't even have to be the F word, right? Sometimes you F, sometimes you make love, right? There's no better feeling for me when I'm with a woman and we're away on a weekend getaway trip and we're snuggled up in the bed and I feel her emotion and she feels mine. Nothing wrong with a man shedding some emotion at times. As long as
welcome back, Frozen and Lewis. I see you back.
Go ahead.
I was welcome Frozen and Lewis back.
Excellent. So yes, Alex and Mutt. Alex, let me tell you, your upbringing is crucial. We have so many broken households nowadays, and it has completely just, I hate to say it, like masculinity is almost destroyed. And here's one more thing. Did you guys hear about, I did a show on this on my channel several weeks ago, that Russian YouTuber Stas Replay. This guy's like in his early 30s. He had like a 28-year-old sexy girlfriend that was pregnant. And because one of his live streamers paid him $1,000 to put her out on the deck of his apartment or his house in sub-zero weather, she ended up passing away and dying. Like,
well, I don't want to be mean, but that to me is murder.
It is murder, and he's going to pay for it.
Yeah.
But
actually, it's 2 counts of murder.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I see that as murder. I don't care if your subs are paying for you $1,000.
It is.
The thing was, Alex, she was pregnant, so technically, it's 2 counts of murder.
Well,
correct. But
regardless if she's pregnant or not, you still murdered a person.
Right.
Even though she's murdered 2 people now. But it doesn't matter. It's just people are jerks.
But here's the most important thing about this.
Go ahead.
Is how was this guy raised? Why would any normal Why would any normal decent man that's in a happy relationship and happy within himself put his pregnant girlfriend, let alone if she wasn't pregnant, put his girlfriend in that situation? I would never do that to a woman that I loved. I wouldn't do that to anybody, period. But come on, for this guy to do that to his woman, it goes to show me that he really didn't love her, and he's more about himself and more about the money.
He could have been on drugs too.
Oh,
if you really think about it.
But maybe he possibly. But the bottom line is, where does that stem from, Alex and Mutt? It stems from the way our youth is being raised nowadays, coming from broken households, living in a different world, and these kids are coming, like I said, from a broken household where the mother and father are not teaching their kids the same things I learned from my parents that taught me, that made me the man I am today.
But Frozen, we're talking about he was Russian, right, Eli?
Yes, he was. Yes, he is.
He was for a guy from Russia that pretty much murdered his girlfriend and unborn child.
Correct.
Over $1,000 of a YouTube subscriber, which kind of ticks me off. Over YouTube? No. Stupid.
It's a sad story.
Come on.
And
you could do something if you wanna get $1,000, do something cool, not like that. Like, let her get some pizza or something.
Like if you're a guy, I've seen some guys say they'll shave their head for $1,000.
Right, there you go. You could have shaved her hair or something like that, or something
Sorry, I'm not shaving my
head. You know the problem is these young guys think that when they do that, they think that they're more manly and masculine when they do something like that, right? To me, that's the most, and no disrespect, ladies, that's not even a feminized move. That's a stupid move.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a woman probably wouldn't even do something like that. Well, I wouldn't go as far and say that. There are some crazy women out there. But what I'm saying is that it is not masculine it was not masculine at all for Stas to do that to his woman. That was the most beta move ever. That guy is not a man. That guy should not be even allowed to exist anymore for what he did. It's just stupid.
I want your opinion. Why did she not go to her neighbor's house or something if she felt threatened anyway? When she was outside anyway.
I don't think she felt threatened is the thing. I think what happened was that she was playing the role. Like when you're doing YouTube and stuff or live streaming.
Well, Eli, didn't you say in the article that he had done it to her or something like that before with pepper spray?
Yeah, she was a part of the act of abuse.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they were getting paid, or he was getting paid to abuse his woman through the donations, his male. And I don't think any woman would pay to have a guy abuse another woman, but they were male donors that were donating to basically have this guy just, belittle his woman and degrade his woman. Like it's really sick. I think
in a way, women that allow that are actually degrading themselves as well.
And I don't want to be mean.
You can get out of that situation.
Yeah,
there's plenty of ways you can get out of that situation. I mean, I did, because I actually had, and if I had to let him convince me, it would have been degrading. I had an ex that wanted me to gain weight. He thought I was too skinny. And at the time, I was 200. I'll admit, I'm 355 pounds, but my man loves every inch of that. But anyway.
Okay.
At the time, I was probably 260, but there is a medical issue in our family that causes, with our thyroids and stuff, that causes that. Mm-hmm. And he wanted me to be 400 or 500 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't want to be mean, but that last boyfriend.
I told him he could kiss my Maryland freaking red ass. I was not putting on weight.
What I was trying to tell you is,
I was trying to lose it.
If he wanted a chubby girlfriend, he could have just broken up with you. Simple.
Sure.
Oh, I broke it off with him. Oh. I told him bye. See you, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Mutt and Alex, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
When you're a woman in that situation with a guy like Stas, right? Even if she knows that the right thing to do would be to get out, when you've been with someone for years, you get emotionally attached, especially for women. Men get attached too, but women more so, right? So when a woman
lurking over there, Will.
When a woman is emotionally attached to a man, and they've been together for a while, they're more prone. They shouldn't take the abuse, but they're more prone to deal with the abuse because they don't want to go through the breakup or the hurt because they're attached, right?
Luckily, the thing with me and that guy was we were only talking through the phone and all. We hadn't really met in person yet. We had mutual friends. We believe we had met when we were younger. It just didn't remember because we had mutual friends.
Oh.
You know, so it wasn't like I'm found out through the internet. I found it, but his number was given to me by a mutual friend, vice versa. Okay. So, but when he said that, I'm like, bye, see you. Block. I mean, you weren't even to this day. I won't even look him in his face when I see him out in public.
Wow. So you weren't even boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. Then you were going to be.
No, we were just talking, just learning each other, friend wise.
Yeah. So you didn't even get a chance to that because obviously he asked you to be.
No, I shut that down. Shut that down.
So. But yeah, I'm sorry about that YouTuber. I wish, honestly, the people that were doing the money thing, I think they should be in jail too. Because
that's what I agree. Yeah, they should take out a consequence too. Yeah,
I agree. I was saying that on my show, Alex, when I did that stream several weeks ago.
They should be charged with what is it?
Accessory to murder. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I agree. In the U.S., this guy would probably get the death penalty, right? I think in Russia, he's only going to get 2 years if it is proven, they said, that the death was caused, by the reason that they said,
She died of hypothermia. Didn't they say she died of hypothermia?
No, absolutely. So that's the cause. That's the cause, and that's murder.
So it is murder. Her on a balcony. Where was she supposed to go? And okay, if the balcony was on a ground level, or I'd say maybe 3 feet at the most off of the ground, yeah, she could have went over the railing. But to me, it seems like she had nowhere to go. She had no way to get off of the balcony to go somewhere and get warm. It seemed to me like it might have been in a high rise or something like that.
Did he lock the door so she couldn't go back in?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he forgot about her, so she passed away.
So he's saying he forgot about her.
What a dude.
How you forget that you locked somebody outside?
Let me give you my honest opinion. Do I honestly think he forgot about her? Do I honestly think he was trying to kill her? Probably not. It doesn't matter. He should have never put her out there in the first place.
He just took a prank too far.
He took a prank too far. He got caught up with these guys and trying to be cool. This guy is a very insecure and immature man that was improperly raised. That's the bottom line. And that's happening to
That'd be like telling your children to go outside and then you forget that you told your children to go outside. Something, God forbid, happened to one of them.
Yeah.
Right.
For instance, if I got a girlfriend, one of my YouTube friends asked me to do that, I won't do that. I'll do something else that's more safer than anything. I don't need the money.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna,
I put nobody's life in danger over.
If you're not gonna play ball. Yeah. If you're not gonna play ball nice, then I'm not gonna play ball with you. It's just.
I don't care how much money you offer me. I'm not putting nobody's life in danger.
No, I don't care. I don't need the money. Go do that to someone. I don't want you to do that to someone else, but I'm just saying, don't bother me.
There was a meme that went around Facebook saying, if your ex was on fire, what would you do? Would you let them burn for $1,000 or more? I thought to myself, there's a couple, yeah, maybe, but actually, no. Mentally, I was thinking it, but it doesn't mean I would actually do it.
Right, because you know you'd go to jail for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah. I know that penalty. Yeah. There's a guy that right now, he's sitting in jail for life.
Oh.
Luckily, the 2 kids survived, but he beat the mother in the head with a hammer in front of the kids, killed her, and then tried to kill the 2 kids. The 2 kids survived. Matter of fact, I just seen a memory on it was 3 years ago today that happened. and those kids are surviving very well with the grandmother. Our community rallied around them, but thanks to Kennedy Krieger Hospital in Baltimore, those 2 kids had survived, and they shouldn't have survived with the head injuries he gave them.
Wait a minute,
He
actually
beat them with a hammer. I'm talking about a claw, you know, the one with the claw end on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I'm telling you, some of the stories that come out of my town and my county, whew, believe
I
me.
wonder if there's any, you know, I'm curious if there's any famous cases to the point that there's movies about it. I wonder if there's any movies about your county. Makes me wonder.
Not like that, but if you've ever seen the movie Homecoming with Anne Bancroft, it wasn't filmed here, but the kids actually were on their way to visit their grandmother here. Jacob I Have Loved was filmed here, parts of it.
Okay.
Runaway Bride was filmed, parts of it were filmed an hour away. The town Hale, Maryland, you know, in the movie Runaway Bride, is actually Berlin, Maryland.
Wow.
The hotel Richard Gere stayed at is called the Atlantic Hotel. They could change all the names of any other businesses in that town except the Atlantic Hotel because it has historic things, and it also has paranormal events in there as well. Believe me,
Wow.
I know I've experienced. I never really believed in the paranormal until I stayed at that hotel.
Oh. What did you find at the hotel? Not to change the subject, because I love history.
Because that hotel burnt down in, I forget what year that was, and it was rebuilt. And you could actually, in the one area, you felt heat, like you were on fire, and you smelled the burning smoke. And there's no smoke or nothing in anywhere. So yeah.
Is it possible?
There's paranormal thing in my town, but that was the topper. And then Tom Selleck actually was looking at properties here in my town at one point.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have to film, because you have a YouTube channel, obviously what we're on right now. I wonder if you can go to that hotel and film that and see if you would see that again, that smell or not. That would be a good YouTube video. I'm not saying you have to do that, but it's a good suggestion.
It's very hard to get a room at that hotel. I was lucky that
I didn't say get a room. I said just.
Oh no, you can't just go. You have to actually be staying at the hotel to even hang out there.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, it's one of the places.
Well, if you ever do that, please do that for me, because I would love for you to see where that smoke is and where it is, and if it still smells like that. If you go there again, I'm just curious.
Yeah,
that's all.
There's been some crazy stuff happen around there.
Wow.
Matter of fact, I was staying there with an ex at the time when that happened.
Did he smell anything? Or you?
No, thought I was crazy.
Oh, he thought you were crazy. Oh, of course.
Not long after that, I got rid of. I left him anyway. So.
Well.
Matter of fact, he actually stranded me in that town. He thought. Let's put it this way. He thought he stranded me, and I wouldn't have a way home. But I have family in that area. The dumbass didn't realize. All I had to do was walk from where the hotel was 2 blocks over, and I was at my aunt's house.
It's a good thing you keep things secret.
I told him that when we got. He's like, I'm going to leave you here. You ain't, because we were fighting. He's like, I'm going to leave you here, and you won't have a way home. I'm like, you think not? All I got to do is make a few phone calls, and I could have somebody here take me home in a heartbeat. And I was home before he got back to my house to get his stuff. He's like, how'd you get home? I'm like, don't you want to know?
Yeah. And Mutt, let me share one more thing, and then I don't know if you want to probably start wrapping this up. I think we pretty much covered a lot of stuff, but let me say this. Here's an important thing here that is really affecting our modern world in the way that especially men are being raised. I think women I think women are being raised a little bit better than men. But I also still think that the feminist agenda and indoctrinating women into this culture is more so hurting them than helping them. Yes, go to college, get a degree, get a job, but don't try, to there are women out there, and the system out there is saying, ladies, don't accept toxic masculinity. Don't you don't need a man
they're
for
putting
anything.
out toxic energy because of wanting to control somebody.
Well, they want to control the narrative, and the truth of the matter is this: is women spend a lot more money than men. Women have 85% of the buying power. So if you get women out there making money and having them wear the pants, there's going to be more money technically flowing through the economy. I think it's a bunch of crap, but you know what? That's just what it is. But you got to understand one thing. When it comes to modern men nowadays, this is where the issue is. In my opinion, this is the modern men are not being taught responsibility. They're not being held accountable for their actions like I was when I was growing up. If I did something wrong, my dad would whip out the belt, man. And one time he got me with the belt. It hurt a little bit. He wasn't trying to hurt, but hold on. But here's the thing. The next time I try to do something stupid, my dad. The next time I tried to do something stupid, my dad would start unbuckling the belt, and that would get me to stop. Right? So we're not even allowed to teach our kids discipline nowadays, because if we try, they're going to go to school, report it, and then we're going to go to jail for trying to discipline our kids. Right? So that's
my sister still disciplines her kids how we were disciplined.
So what happens to these millennials? Why are these millennials in general called spoiled, entitled millennials? Because they were never disciplined and they never learned responsibility. So you've got all these kids. Look at Stas Replay. Do you think that do you think a man 100 years ago would do that to his wife? No. Right?
No, never mind. I see it. Never mind. I was reading that wrong.
So if, like I said, if you go back 100 years ago, do you think that men were behaving this way 100 years ago and before that time? Do you think men were behaving this way and treating their women like this Stas Replay treated his woman? No, because men learned responsibility. They learned that, hey, when you get with the right woman and she's with the right man, you're the best team to work together, right? That's just the way it is.
It's okay for a woman to take and want to plan a getaway or whatever, take the charge on that. But there's a difference of, like you say, taking charge and planning something, or just taking charge of thinking you run the household.
Well, okay, let me talk about that. There's a right and a wrong time for it, Mutt, even in the modern world.
That's what I was trying to. Let me share. Couldn't articulate the words.
With my ex Dana, one of the best relationships I had. Great woman, right? Okay. She was a great hybrid of an alpha female and a submissive female, like that
equal balance of it, yeah.
Right. 70% of the time she was submissive and feminine, and that's what I loved about her. But 30% of the time she was dominant. Now, 70% of the time I was dominant, and 30% of the time I was submissive.
That's how it is with the guy I'm with now.
And it balanced out. Now, when I first started seeing her, I would take care of everything, take her out to dinner. I would drive, I would take her on weekend getaways, right? But then after like 8 months or 9 months, she wanted to do things for me because she wanted to show that she really cares about me and is with me for the right reasons. And even though, I'll be honest, I'm so old school, even like when a woman has money, she made her own money and she did well. Even when she wants to take me away for the right reasons and pay for me and drive and do all that, it just makes me feel like less masculine, right? Because I'm from the old school. But here's the thing. At that point, I was okay with it. She did take me away on some trips. She did pay for them. She did pay for some expensive dinners. And even though I felt weird about it, I appreciated it and I respected her, and I still felt like a man because we had such a good balance, right? It was such a great balance.
You balanced each other out, yeah.
But here's the thing, Mutt, Here's the thing, in my opinion, for a man to feel a man, he needs to first establish, that he's the man, and he needs to know that the woman is the woman. And for me, in order to establish that, like, I wanted to take her out. I wanted to take her on an adventure. All you have to do, babe, sit back, kick back. Yeah, let's talk. Be cool. And I respect you. You respect me. But I didn't want her to do anything. Like, even though she did, I just wanted to show her the type of guy she's with, because
That's
I
how
could
it was
tell.
with me and my ex at first.
I could tell
we
she
were
was a
planning
good.
these fun hikes and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, if I wanted to, towards the end, if I wanted to do something, he didn't want to do that. That he was like, I should be planning everything, and all that,
Yeah. But I could tell that she was a good woman that came from a good family that deserved to get those things from me, because I took the time to get to know her, right?
Yeah.
So when it came time for her to start reciprocating, like I said, even though, it's like, I'm a man and I always feel like I'm old school. I always feel like I want to take care of my lady. That's just how I was born to be. I understand the modern world's a little different, and she's making money, and she wanted to reciprocate. She wanted to show me how much she appreciates what I've done for her by doing things for me. And so that's okay. But again, if you meet a good woman like I had, in my last relationship, which happens very rarely,
Oh yeah. It's like when they say the diamond in the rough.
As a man, even if you're that strong alpha male, you still want to be the one to set the tone, and you want to be the one to show her a good time. And then after a while, if she reciprocates, which she should, if she's into you, then back off and say, hey, babe, you don't have to do this, babe. I really want to take you somewhere. You do so much for me. I love you. I care for you, blah, 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 right? I'm like, okay, babe, you don't have to do this, but you know what? I like being with you. Let's just go, right? And there was a trip. There were a few trips, but there's one trip that Dana and I took where I love to drive, and she typically likes it when a guy drives too. But she goes,
"Oh my God, I'm just laughing at that."
She goes. I'm gonna drive. We're gonna get the dog in the SUV. I'm gonna drive, and you can just relax. And I'm gonna take you away this weekend, babe. And I'm like, okay. I was still a man, and I still did things for her. I still bought some of the dinners when we went away, but she got the room. She paid for the gas, and she paid for some of the dinners. But I still did some things because that's the kind of guy I am. When you have a woman like that, to the point of where it doesn't even matter who pays or who does what, you're so well balanced and you're so happy, sincerely and truly.
You got that. You got the chemistry. You got the connection.
Yeah.
And that balances out when your woman's buying you something and you're buying her something, you're buying the dinner, or she's buying. I like that. That kind of sounds pretty cool that you both are doing it at the same time, because it makes it easier for you and the relationship better.
Sure. But see, Alex and Mutt, it's more so about appreciation.
True that.
Yeah. It's what I was going to say. It's the appreciation, where they say the thought that counts,
That's true.
Is she in my bed every night, or is she banging somebody behind my back? I know my ex wasn't, right? The bottom line is I'm the type of guy that would have no problem paying for 100% of everything if I knew that woman was going to appreciate me for a lifetime, be faithful and loyal to me, like my ex was.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, it's not about investing into a woman, it's about investing into the right woman that truly loves you and appreciates you and is loyal and faithful to you as well, right?
That's true.
That's what it is. So
hey, Eli, what upset me about what happened to your last girl, it upset me because you couldn't be with her because of some stupid trolls, which kind of pisses me off in some level.
Well, let me share a little bit about that, Alex, if that's okay with you, Mutt, for a
Go
few
ahead.
minutes.
I got plenty of time. I haven't received my text yet, so.
So if I'm going to be completely truthful, like I've also been in the past, and I know I've had so many streams, so not everyone's heard everything. yes, was the primary reason the trolls? Yes, but I mean, I made some mistakes too, Alex. And as a man,
Okay.
part of being a strong and look, the mistakes
Oh, yeah, I can
cheat.
admit in some of my relationships I did make some mistakes too, but
I didn't cheat on her, and I didn't, I had a few, white lies I kept from her because I had my previous relationship, my ex cheated on me, and I basically thought I was ready to start a new relationship, but I really wasn't. So when I started my relationship with Dana, I really enjoyed her company. I was attracted to her. I loved everything, but I thought I'd gotten over my ex, but I was still kind of hurting over my ex.
True that.
But after about 3 months of being with Dana, okay, I really started to see that Dana's one of the most amazing women I've come across. And listen, I'm over her and I moved past it, but I'm still a strong enough man to come out and say I still feel that way about her to this day. She's an amazing woman, and I really wish her the best, with whoever she's with and whatever she wants to accomplish in life. That's the maturity that comes from me, right?
True that.
But look, like I said, there were some things that, I was going through during that time that, I didn't tell her, not because I didn't want to tell her, because I wasn't fully invested in that relationship for the first 3 months. I'm not saying I didn't want to be with her or didn't like her. During those first 3 months that I was with her, like if she broke up with me or I broke up with her, it wouldn't have mattered. I still had a good time with her. I was still attracted to her and I enjoyed her company. I just was not in the right mindset because I thought I was over my ex that cheated on me and I wasn't, right? So that wasn't fair to her, right? And I wasn't being fair to me, but I put myself out there and I was in that situation. Now I'm 4 months into this. I'm starting to get feelings for this woman.
Okay.
Right? And I'm starting to really like being with her more than any other woman I've been with. And now I'm like, oh shit. Now I've got all these things that I need to tell her that I should have told her initially, because if she didn't accept it, then we would have never started. Right now I'm invested emotionally. So now my insecurities pop in, which I don't have a lot of I mean, men have insecurities at times, right?
Yeah.
I've worked through it, right? But now I'm beginning to feel insecure about this because I'm in a position where I can get hurt, right?
Right, because you didn't tell her anything else in the beginning yet, or whatever.
I didn't tell her because I wasn't invested in the beginning as much as she was, right? But it's still early on, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that by the time I got emotionally invested, I was so far into it and I knew I needed to share some things with her. And the one thing that I didn't share with her that she found out about, which is fine, is that 11 years ago, I had filed a bankruptcy. Now, when I was with her, I was a year out of getting out of bankruptcy. In the state of California, when you file bankruptcy, it's on your record for 10 years and then it comes off.
Oh.
So I had a relationship where, one thing led to another, spent too much money, and then I filed bankruptcy. It didn't affect me from living my life. I still was making money. I recovered immediately, but I had a lot of credit card debt. Okay. And I didn't want to tell her that early on. I didn't mention that because I didn't feel I wasn't invested into that relationship for the first 3 months. Now, had I been in a better position and gotten over my ex initially, I would have been open with her up front,
right?
Because I would have been in a better emotional state. And
it's like they say you had blinders on. You were just focused on one thing and not realizing.
It wasn't that much. What it was is the fact that I had not gotten over my ex. I thought I was. I was hurt. I was hurting because I was cheated on, and it didn't feel good. Okay, and I put myself out there because I thought I was ready and I wanted to move past the past, right? And I didn't expect such an amazing woman to come into my life to make me feel the way she did. There's no woman that's made me feel the way she's made me feel. Wow. And so again, with most women you meet, they're not gonna be that into you from the very beginning like my ex was, and show the level of genuine interest she did. So, you know, I was like, wow. So the bottom line is that when she found out about it, it was because all these trolls and these haters, they ran background checks on me, and they put that information out there. And these trolls and haters, this is how pathetic this group of men has been out here. It's a group of I keep saying it. It's a group of immature, insecure, middle-aged Caucasian conservative men from the South and the Midwest that have either been divorced by women and had half their money taken, or they've had bad relationships with women, or they've had a terrible upbringing,
or they have mommy issues.
They're just horrible people that are insecure and are projecting their insecurities onto good people like me.
I've actually dated an ex that had mommy issues.
Yes, but see, there's not a man on the planet that's strong and secure within himself that's going to try to kick another man down just to kick him down.
Right.
They're going to be supportive of that man and say, hey, I'm glad you have a good woman, dude. I wish I could find one. Right. Mm-hmm. But these guys are so insecure, so immature. Plus, they were drama channels on YouTube, and some of them still are running drama on YouTube. And basically, they use this for content. They used me for endless content and made lots of money off of me, right?
Right.
Now, I was running shows, live streams, and doing videos with my ex. And had they not gotten in the way of that, we would have made something out of it, and we may have still been together this day. But again,
that's why I wanted to go do shows with my ex, but he did that one show, and it's like you can, like, say you can have super stuff and bullet fried jack. He sat there like a freaking ventriloquist. Like I had my hand in his back, making him, like a puppet.
Yeah.
And he never would block trolls in my chat. He'd let them say whatever they would to say to me.
Yeah. Some people are like that.
And I don't want to be mean. What about the new boyfriend here that you're dating? Is he going to be on your channel sometime in the future?
Probably from time to time.
Okay. I'm just hoping. I hope you tell him that when he comes.
Oh, he already knows.
We already had that moderator.
He's ready to bring the hammer down.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Yeah, but like what I was saying, Alex, is that, when she ended up finding out, it wasn't a problem that I had filed a bankruptcy. It was the fact that I didn't tell her. I wasn't open with her from the very beginning. And then I tried to explain to her at that point, and we had not split up at that point. We were still about 5 months away from splitting up.
Oh.
But that was one of a few things. I'm not going to get into everything. I've talked about it all in the past, but the bottom line is that, they were small, stupid little insecurities that I didn't make her aware of, to the point of where, at the very end of our relationship, we went on a camping trip with her family, and when we came back, because of the fact that I was on YouTube and I was trying to grow my channel and I was focusing, I balanced out our relationship. But when I was on this camping trip, I was taking videos and I was trying to upload them from wherever I was at, instead of enjoying the camping trip and being off the grid. I made a big mistake there, and I regret what I did.
Oh, so you made videos while you're on the trip, and that's why
Well, no, that's not why she broke up with me. What I'm saying, dude, it's a combination of things. You got to understand. It basically, the fact that I let these trolls and haters get to me, and the fact that they started attacking her because I kept feeding into them to defend myself.
Hello?
It all.
Yes.
He's on the phone.
Sorry, Eli. Yes.
That's all right. Okay. You can mute your mic if you want, bro.
Okay. All right.
It's funny.
Sorry about that, Eli. My friend called me. I'm sorry about that. I wasn't trying to be mean or anything.
No, all I'm saying, Alex, is that was it partially the fault of the trolls? Yes. Was it partially my fault? Yes. Ideally, it was my fault completely. I'll tell you why. In general, I'm taking ownership of it. You know why? Because I was the one that fed into the
Welcome back,
trolls.
Frozen.
So I was the one that fed into the trolls. I was the one that didn't tell her certain things. I was the one that decided to do everything that I did. Okay. The thing is, the thing I don't like about the trolls is the fact that you got these men out there that are grown men that rather than being real strong, mature men and uplifting other men, these men were trying to kick another man down.
Wow.
Just because our beliefs are a little different, just because I'm more on, slightly on the left, a little more liberal, and they're a little more conservative, right?
Yeah.
They would kick me down. They'd call me a liberal sack of shit. They would call me all this stuff, right? And because I didn't know how to handle the trolls on YouTube initially, okay, I knew how to handle people in real life, but I never had the public figure experience online as I did in person in the past. And so I learned how to deal with hateful people in real life. I just didn't realize how it worked out here on YouTube. I also didn't realize that the more you feed into these people, even to try to give them a piece of your mind or to defend yourself, they make content off of that. And there's an audience of drama people that follow these channels and are waiting for that content and are paying these creators for that content. I didn't realize that. It was all a learning experience for me. But Alex, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I only have myself to blame for putting myself in the situation that I put myself in and putting my ex in that situation. And it takes a strong man to admit that. Did I do it on purpose? No, I didn't. Of course I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't even know what I was getting into out here on YouTube. The only thing I wanted to do was come out here and run my channel, my business like I'm doing today.
Right, and just have fun with it. Right.
Have fun with it and run my business and run a serious business, right?
That's like I start my YouTube started out as a hobby. If I get paid, that's good.
Right.
But it's still always going to be, I'm doing it because it's something I love doing. I'm not, if I get paid for it, if I get paid for something I love doing, that's a good thing. If I don't, I don't, I look at it that way.
Like, let me give you an example, Mutt and Alex. Okay, these people that have been attacking me for years can no longer chat in my chat because I wish I had that
feature. I think when I get
when you get monetized, we'll help. We'll set it up. But because I'm a monetized channel, I can run public live streams and only allow members to chat. And moderators are free. So you're free, Alex. Mutt, every moderator is free. Or people can super chat, right? That's between that and my Nightbot and my block words list on YouTube. I've got great security to the point of where these trolls no longer have a say. They can create their own videos all they want. I just ignore them, right? But what happens?
Yeah, same with me.
But look what happens. Like, and I've been ignoring them. I could care less. They're all coming here because now I'm on Mutt's channel, right? So they're all coming in here and they're regurgitating the same stuff, and they think I give a care.
I'll let them sit there, run my time up. You can sit over in the shadows. I'll ban your little ass. You can sit in the corner and run my time up.
But think about it, Mutt and Alex. Here's the thing. I've moved past all of this. It's boring. It's not interesting anymore. These people, they're so immature and insecure, and they have no life, and they hate themselves so much that they think
they're getting to me by giving me 30-some thumbs down.
Right.
Whatever. Like I usually say, their mamas are still hoes.
Well, you know who's thumbing you down as many times. You know it's one person. We're not going to give him the credit. We're not going to mention his name, but we know who it is.
It's one or two people.
The bottom line is that these people think that they're still getting to me, and they're not. They think that their trolling affects me, and it doesn't. You know why? Because I no longer let it affect me. And I learned, let me tell you what this did for me, Alex and Mutt. I may have lost the woman of my dreams, the woman I could have had a life with, right? But I learned a lesson from that loss. And it also taught me something out here on YouTube. It taught me how to better deal with these people in the digital world, on top of how well I was already handling it in real life. It made me a stronger person. When I came on YouTube, I was a strong person already. but it wasn't strong enough for YouTube. I had to get 10 times stronger. And that's these trolls. That's what I got from them. So, hey, I'm getting
I had
something
a
from these
friend
people.
that used to say you have to go through trials and tribulations, pretty much go through hell just to get to your happiness.
Excuse
Right.
me, guys. I would like to hang out, but I would have to. I'll have to go. I want to hang out and talk to you again, Eli, because I'm enjoying your conversation and your
Thank
story.
you for coming by, Alex.
If you guys are still live when I get back, I'll join again. If not, I'll join
Well,
the next time.
I got a phone call to be coming in a little while, so I'll probably be ending it up here in a few.
All right. Well, if that phone call rings, that means you won't be here. If it doesn't, you'll still be here.
Yeah, Furious Reactor Gaming may go
I'm
live.
sorry, guys.
Yeah,
I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for letting me join. Mutt.
You're welcome.
Join Eli.
Thank you for being here.
Merry Christmas, Alex. Happy holidays to you, bro. Thanks for stopping by, man.
I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and tell your mom I said have a Merry Christmas too.
Will do, brother. Thank you so much.
Bye, man. Peace out.
Take it easy. So, Mutt, we're going to probably start wrapping this up here in a few.
Yeah.
If Furious Reactor Gaming, sorry, I keep screwing that up.
I still want to keep calling him 8-bit. I'll always call him 8-bit.
Furious Reactor Gaming, are you going to be going live sometime soon? Are you going to be running a panel, or let me know? Because I may just end up going on one more panel tonight, and I'm probably not going to stream tonight. I'm going to probably take the night off.
I can come on another panel until I get my FaceTime, but he's probably not going to come out of the woods till about 9 o'clock. So my time,
which is 6 my time, which is you got about 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 43 minutes. But yeah, should we just do final thoughts, or
we can if you want?
Your show.
We've been live for 3 hours 15 minutes.
Yeah, but it probably won't be a panel, says Furious Reactor Gaming. Okay, no problem, bro. No problem.
All right, bro. That works for me. You know I'll pop in there.
What was I going to say? No, but I really want to thank you for having me on here today, and
you're welcome.
Allowing me to be on your platform. I think you have some amazing people here on your channel. I think you're an amazing person yourself, and you've had a lot of things to deal with in life that people don't understand. Yeah. And I understand you.
I released a lot of info today.
You did, and you know what, Mutt? Like what I'm
the only other person that really knew most of what I released today was Trish Love.
Mutt, no matter what anyone says about you or me, it doesn't matter. When we're speaking about you, what I respect and appreciate about you is you're a very consistent person, and you're a happy person no matter what. Do we all have our moments? Sure. But you are the type of person that is so strong and doesn't let things get to you. And I will tell you, I appreciate the fact that since we've connected, Mutt, you have never, ever once just, gone away from being a part of my channel and being a mod. You've gone through things.
Yeah, because I always let you know if I'm going to be there or not, But there are times I can't make a lot, but I always catch the replay.
You're not going to make every stream. What I'm saying is that you haven't stepped away because of the trolls. You haven't been scared away by anyone. And again, you're not going to make every stream. But what I'm saying, Mutt, is that when you believe in someone or you like something, you're very consistent and you're as loyal as you could possibly be. And again, no matter what anyone says about you regarding anything.
Lewis, that's right. Everyone is amazing in their own way.
Correct. I just appreciate the person that you are and how loyal you've been. I don't expect loyalty from anybody. I don't even think it really exists that much anymore. But you are
very hard to find, believe me.
You are as loyal as anyone could possibly be nowadays, and you've got the same loyalty in return from me. Just on a final note here, guys and gals out there, this crazy modern world that we're living in. That's why my live shows and my pre-recorded videos are called Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. That's what I do. I help people better understand how to navigate the modern world. Yeah.
I think that's why I wound up changing it from MUTTNUTT'S Reviews to MUTTNUTT'S World, because my world is crazy.
I think everyone's world is crazy, but you know, I not only help people understand relationships, dating, and marriage. I'm also an entrepreneur. I have a lot of experience in the corporate world, getting promoted, what it takes to get promoted, and you know, if you're getting passed up for a promotion, you know, why you're getting passed up, and what you can do to change that,
like
so you can actually get
my own boss.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
Yeah, what you can change to be you know, promoted, or if you want to transition from the corporate world to being your own boss, like you said, Mutt, I help people with that. So I understand business. I really truly want to help people better understand this modern world that we all live in. It is completely different than any other, you know, any other time.
Read that tweet too. Buddy just tweeted a tweet about something about being eligible for memberships if you have 1,000 subscribers. Are you eligible?
Everyone's getting confused by that. Even Chris made a video on that. No, basically right now, once you get monetized, you automatically get memberships. So let me explain this to you. You need 1,000 hours. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Yeah, I seen it
when I pulled the tweet. When I pulled the tweet down, I seen it said you had to be part of the partner program and all that.
You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 minimum watch hours, public watch hours in the previous 12 months to get monetized. Once you get monetized, you not only now get super chat and super sticker, you also get channel memberships, and obviously you get video ads. So channel memberships you get automatically when you become a part of the partner program. It used to be that you needed 30,000 subscribers to have channel memberships when they launched it a few years ago. And it used to be called sponsorships instead of memberships.
I almost had it when we had to have the views and the subscribers back then.
Yeah.
I almost had it.
Yeah. But
I almost had it last year until I let that guy derail me.
Well, you can always recover, and you're going to recover now. We keep doing more of these shows. We're going to get your watch time up
and like
here.
The guy that I'm with now, he's all for me doing my YouTube. He encourages me to go do my lives, go do my work I need to do, you know, and then call him back later.
Absolutely. And that's the respectful way to handle it. But, you know, like I said, you know, Mutt, you know, this is a crazy modern world that we all live in. And I just want to do my part through my experiences to help people. I'm not here to tell people what to do. I'm here to help people get what they want.
You're here to try to guide them in the right direction.
Yeah, you can say that, or share my experiences and basically give them some other options.
Give them some feedback that might help them in their journey, you know.
If they want feedback, sure. But then I just share my story so people can have something to relate to in that situation, and it might help them make a better decision. So I've never been about, you got to do this and that. I could care less what people do. It's not a bad thing. What I care about is, you know, people being happy and doing whatever it takes to make themselves happy. And if I have a similar experience in life that they're currently struggling with, you know, and they want to work through it, I may have a story to share with them that could help them make a better decision. That's what I do. So, you know, and again, I'll just say this, you know, this whole experience of being out here on YouTube, you know, it has changed my life. It's made me a stronger person. It has, let me tell you right now, dealing with these people that were trolling me for the last 3+ years made me so much stronger on this platform, 10 times stronger, to the point of where I'm untrollable. You can keep trying to troll me. It just doesn't get to me. Yeah. And as my channel grows, you're going to get more new trolls. I'm going to have new trolls in the future, and so are you as we grow, Mutt. The thing is going to be like, any new trolls that try to come in, it's going to be like, okay, you're banned. We're not even going to acknowledge you. No big deal. We might laugh at you for a second, but
yeah, like that one that was trying to ask me if I went to Skype with him earlier.
Yeah, it just, I'll tell you honestly,
I
Mutt,
couldn't help but laugh my behind over that one.
it
I'm
doesn't
like,
it doesn't get to me. And you want to know what's funny, Mutt? I'll say this, and I'll share some more stuff with you behind the scenes privately. These people, they continue to do things on their channels and stuff, right? They continue to put out certain content and this and that. All I got to say is this. Again, I keep saying it. I'm gonna wrap up by saying this, and we're gonna hear your final thoughts on your channel, and then I guess we'll shut it down. Karma has no deadline, Mutt.
Yep.
Karma has no deadline, and when you mess with the bull,
you
get
them
the
horns,
right? And let me tell you something. The bull just gave somebody the horns not too long ago, and the bull's gonna give more and more of the horns.
I was just had my double horns. I would have put them on right now for that saying.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you don't want the horns, then don't mess with the bull, right?
Damn, you beat me to him.
Yeah, and that's not even the real guy. That was really him. 85 subscribers.
I thought he had more than that.
Well, on his main channel, he does. I don't even want to talk about. I'm not going to mention his name, but all I got to say is that guy that was in your chat right now. That guy really just is a very insecure man. And,
yeah, I know.
And you know what he did, Mutt? He actually went because he went on another.
I was just furious sharing his link.
Do you know what that guy did that I just banned? What he did was a couple of weeks ago, he was a guest on someone's live stream, and because he didn't like what the guy was saying, he had a difference of opinion with this guy that was in the chat. This guy that was in the chat that I just banned played porn bombed his channel while he was live on the air. The guy kept the replay up, and then the guy that was in the chat right now did a show. I so happened to run across it. I saw it for a few minutes. He said, I not only porn bombed him, I then went and flagged him afterwards, and then went into my Discord and told everyone to flag him.
Oh yeah, I remember you were talking about that on your channel.
And I'm like, man, what a pathetic loser. What a pathetic, insecure, unhappily married man. Now, listen,
like somebody was asking me if they could come on panel. I didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
I didn't answer it because the only people that get the panel link are my mods.
Right. And here's the thing. Like, I don't care how much content this guy makes on me or he tries to troll me. Like, it's pathetic for me for a man in his mid-40s that claims to be happy in his life. He's married and has a couple kids and runs his own business. For him to do the stupid stuff he does out here on YouTube, obviously he's got too much time on his hands because his personal life is just not cutting it. Right? It's just and he can do what he wants to do. I just think that any man that's gonna attack another man and try to shut down another man because of a small difference of opinion and it was just a normal conversation. Everybody's
going to have their own opinion. We're entitled to our own opinions, like you said, and but it's how you express your version of the opinion against somebody else.
Right. This guy was not even harassing him. This guy, was not even harassing him. I can understand if someone is harassing you, like I've been harassed, and if people have doxed me and put out harassing, defamatory videos on me. If this guy was doing things like that to the guy that was just in your chat that I banned, I could somewhat understand him doing what he did.
You could see a little bit of a fine line of why he crossed the line.
But just because of a difference of opinion, and because this guy is so insecure, so immature, and so unhappy and miserable in his family life, he has to come out here on YouTube and project his insecurities. That's all it is. That's the truth of the matter, right? So it's just pathetic. It's no big deal. So go make all. You know what? Go make all the videos that you want, and just keep on messing with the bull, and you'll see what happens. Mutt, go ahead. Let's wrap this up. It's your show. I'm done.
We've almost been live for 3.5 hours, by the way. We went a little longer than we said we wanted to.
That's all right.
Hey, that's all right. We got wrapped up in in a good conversation. But yeah, I just look at it. I mean, now that I look back, now that I've released things that only certain people were told, I'm like, the attachments out the attachment went out the window about almost a week ago. But you know, it's like I've learned from past relationships, you know, different things, but I just do not understand until kind of now why I stayed in. I can't say it was a toxic relationship or a controlling, because it wasn't. It was just, I don't know, he just did things weird, you know? You know, didn't want to be kind of seen in public or whatever. Didn't really want to introduce me to his friends and stuff. Yet I introduced him to everybody in God's creation I knew.
Amen.
Even my crazy niece and 2 nieces and nephew. You know, you gotta have a warped sense of humor sometimes to understand their jokes. But they're my babies. I love them to death. My family has a warped sense of humor with humor. On both sides, believe me. But, you know, other than that, I mean, you know, you just gotta, I don't want to say, you gotta have your guards up, but you can't really have your guards way up that, you know, you don't let people in.
Go ahead.
You know, that's pretty much all I got to say, I think.
Okay.
Anything else before we end?
No, Mutt, I want to thank you for having me on your show today. I'm probably not going to go live tonight, but I've been saying that the past few nights.
Yeah, I see that Will just shared the link behind the scenes for us.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have Will's stream on in the background. And like I said, I probably am not going to go live tonight, but who knows? I've been saying that the past few nights, and then I went live anyway. If something comes up, I may go live. If not, I'll do a stream tomorrow. It's going to be Christmas Eve. What I'm thinking, Mutt, is maybe if you're going to be around tomorrow and some of the mods, I'd like to probably maybe
tomorrow's going to be iffy for me because we have our family Christmas Eve dinner probably around 4, and I don't know how long they'll stay and everything.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just figure it out. Maybe I'll just do my own stream, and then we'll reconvene after Christmas 26th, 27th, and then we have New Year. And we'll figure something out. But Mutt, I want to really thank you for having me here today. I appreciate you giving me your platform for as long as you did.
You're welcome.
It's a privilege to be on someone else's channel. I really want people to understand that it's not a requirement. It's not something that is just handed out. It is a privilege to be a guest on somebody's platform, and I appreciate that, Mutt. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the stream yard. You can wrap up your show, Mutt. I'll talk to you later. All right, girl?
Later.
All right, bat.
All right, y'all. I'm getting ready to go ahead and end. I hope everybody has a good holiday, and I probably will not be alive again until let's see, tomorrow, probably sometime after Christmas, between Christmas and the New Year. I may go live on Christmas Day. I don't know. You never know with me. Other than that, I hope everybody has a good night. I will catch y'all later. Bro, Will, if you're still around, I will pop in your live here in a few. Lewis, I will catch up with you later. Everybody else, have a good night. Peace out, Mutt Squad.